your podcast platforms. Just search 1620 The Jays. Covering all things Creighton Blue Jays, it's the 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law from 1620 The Zone.
Let me get you up to speed on the service that you need.
At Omaha Transmission, we don't have a warehouse full of transmissions waiting to be sold. We will diagnose and then repair or remanufacture your transmission. It's how we've always done it and how we'll always do it. Treating people the way that we want to be treated is how we do business at Omaha Transmission.
Omaha Transmission, shifting to running smooth.
PACE, Police Athletics for Community Engagement Organization, is dedicated to preventing at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children from becoming involved in street gangs, crime, drug use, and victimization. Last year, PACE served over 5,000 area kids with wholesome competition and free participation in soccer, baseball, CrossFit, and flag football. To help PACE and local families make sure kids have access to safe and fun spring and summer activities, please go to paceomaha.org to support the PACE mission. Thank you.
Tickets for Less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Crossover. Oh, killer crossover. Just crossover. It just crossed him over. Danced him. Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Time to crossover.
Hey!
John and Josh are here.
Yes.
Hello, guys.
Hi. Oops.
Venezuela has just beat Nicaragua, for your information. Hope you're excited about that.
Was Mustache Guy in Venezuela?
He was on Nicaragua.
I love that guy. That mustache is amazing.
It's a good mustache.
He looked like a 1920s villain who was going to tie someone to a train track.
He does. Is this the only live game we get on today?
I think there's probably another one coming up, but not for a little while.
Not for a little while.
I didn't listen to Josh's.
I didn't realize they were playing so many games overseas. I thought they were
this
playing
is in
the whole-
Miami.
No, I know this one's in United States,
It's
but
live in what? Or is this old?
no, it's
No,
live.
this is live.
It's live in Miami?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They have a dome, don't they? I
Yeah,
was
they're
like, why does it
playing
look
inside.
dark?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the darkest dome out there.
Mm.
You would think in a place like Miami, you'd want a lot of natural light.
The dark dome.
Miami.
Oh, the
But-
dome in Japan was kind
That
of
would be a
dark.
good like college basketball arena nickname, the Dark Dome.
The dark dome.
Yeah,
When Korea and Japan played, that wasn't a dome, right? That was in
they play
Japan.
in the Tokyo Dome, I think.
Yeah, that was kind of dark. That was a dark dome.
Can I ask John a question real fast? Because he was on the road. So that's the last- Do you know about the Aaron Rodgers stuff? Like the latest with Aaron Rodgers?
Let me guess. He's being flaky and he's taking echinacea again.
Probably. But not echinacea. It's ayahuasca. So
I
they're
prefer echinacea.
Oh yeah, John, this is good. This will be exciting.
yeah. So they're
God.
adding a bunch of like old Green Bay Packer players to the Jets.
Yeah.
Well, I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lazard.
Lazard and
there's
then
more.
Cobb, and then who? He has other demands, right?
Is Mark
For-
Chimura coming back?
Mercedes Lewis.
He's canceled.
Mercedes Lewis.
Mercedes Lewis, yes.
And then they're also trying to get Odell.
That's right. So I just saw this tweet from Ross Jackson, who covers the gumbo munching Saints. But he writes, Aaron Rodgers, they don't give me the weapons I need in Green Bay. Also, Aaron Rodgers, get me the exact same weapons I had in
Yep.
Green Bay.
We love this guy. Thank you, Aaron.
This is going to be the greatest flop of them all.
It's going to be huge.
The greatest flop
Oh,
of them
this is a
all.
great
Put it on the
take.
list.
This is a great
Wow,
take.
That's a
I'm
prediction.
putting that on the list.
Give me a number. Like 5 and
Yeah, how bad are we talking here,
5
John?
and 12.
Well, they ain't gonna make the playoffs.
All right, we can definitely
Get
put that on
the
the list.
eggs.
Jets.
They ain't making the playoffs.
The Packers East won't make the playoffs.
The Packers will have a better record.
Oh,
than
Stop,
the
you're
Jets.
you're saying too many things
he's
here.
guaranteeing a lot.
No
This-
Jets playoffs. Packers will have a better record than the Jets.
Flop of them all. Jets won't make the playoffs. This is the first prediction with like a bunch of
And
sentences.
the Packers will have a better record than
And
the Jets.
okay.
Well, the flop of them all, and then it.
The Packers.
Because
will
I mean,
be
that
better.
was just the
ultimate
headline,
flop
Josh.
is if they
This'll be
went
the flop
0
of them all.
Yeah, that
I know,
would
I
be
just
like
liked
0
it.
17. But yeah,
Oh, Packers better than Jets.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if I agree with that one.
it's
Question
the
for
Jets.
I know, but they have a solid roster. They have
Cool.
a solid,
And now they
the
have Green
Jets.
Bay.
And now they're bringing ayahuasca guy in
John,
here
the
who doesn't
defense.
have any freaking work ethic.
How much
and
better?
is just whining and crying all
look,
the time.
I'm not trying to defend Aaron Rodgers. I'm just saying, like, Jordan Love, you're going to put all your eggs in the basket of
I'm
Jordan
going to say,
Love.
I'm just going to.
And
They're going to
that
have
roster,
a better
that
record than the
roster
Jets.
sucks too.
Well,
They're
Jordan
gonna have
Love
a
will
better
probably
record
help
than the
because
Jets.
he's not just
Also,
going to do
keep in
hand
mind
signals.
the Packers are
Jordan
in
Love's
an
gonna
easier
suck.
division.
That's my take.
Packers will be in an easier
Now,
division.
that's a solid argument because the Lions are going to win the division next year.
How much better is Aaron Rodgers than anything that could just be found?
I mean,
out
come
there
on. Then
the
Mike
street?
White or Zach Wilson, better. He's way better than those guys.
But is he going to like make them a Super Bowl team from
No.
7-10?
Nope.
No.
Okay, let me.
Is he going to make them a
Can,
playoff
can
team?
I now
Nope.
again? I hate that I'm being put in this position to defend Aaron Rodgers because I'm not an Aaron Rodgers guy. But can I throw this theory at you?
Okay, whatever.
He
Aaron
will.
Rodgers defender.
He will work harder this year. We've seen guys do that before.
Oh, now he's going to work
Aaron
hard
Rodgers.
again.
than he did
Aaron
last
Rodgers.
year.
So
It's a low bar.
So does that mean he's going to go into the dark room for a whole week instead of 3 days?
He can't give one more good year of like I'm going to prove that Green Bay Packers wrong
Yeah, this is going to
Okay, first of all,
rejuvenate.
first of
him.
all,
for
he-
just one season.
First of all,
Brett
he's-
Favre did the same thing. Brett Favre sucked at the end, and then he had that one good year with the Vikings.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, now I don't deny that people will just make crap up as phony motivation,
Sure.
but I would call him out in a heartbeat if he said the Packers didn't believe in me. That is the biggest pile of horse crap ever.
Has
they
he said
bent
that?
over backward. No, but you were implying that he's going to be
More
motivated.
just he's going to do it. He's going to do it to spite them and everybody else. Like
Right.
he's going to put in one more good year of he's going to work out with all
Yeah.
his teammates.
He's who needs to spite more whom? I would dare say the Packers.
well, John, I
the
agree.
Packers
but
have more motivation to
like,
spite Rodgers.
you just made a good point, though. You know how these psycho athletes
I
are.
know,
They
I
find
know.
stupid reasons for
well,
motivation.
I'm
He
going to
was
go ahead
MVP
and
But you think
pre-
Rodgers
I'm
is going to
I'm gonna-
OTAs?
I'm going to pre-criticize
That's what I'm
him
saying.
for that.
He'll go to OTAs.
You
He'll
think
do that stuff.
Put it on the list.
Oh,
Aaron Rodgers
cool.
will go to
I mean,
OTAs.
John, I know that I'm describing a very low bar, but that's all I'm saying is 1 year. That's why they had a really good roster. They can make the playoffs.
They
the Packers are going
are
to stink.
the Jets.
I know. It's
Period.
Jordan Love.
They
What are we
are
talking
the
about
Jets.
here?
I don't like how the Packers have been brought into this.
The
I'm not-
Packers stink.
The Packers stink.
That's a horrible roster. The
Yeah.
defense was bad. The special teams, again, was pretty average. They were a bad football team. Yes, and I know who their quarterback was. Just saying. They went 7-10 with
are
Zach Wilson.
The
And Mike White.
Jets.
Mike White's more known for White Lotus season 2 than he is as a Jets quarterback.
and crumbling
Okay.
after he got sacked that one
Yeah,
time.
remember that one time he went, he
His ribs
folded.
exploded.
He was like a wallet. He folded.
He was just like a wallet.
Man, I don't like this.
Mike Wallet.
Mike
But see,
Wallet.
but here's the thing.
13-3,
We're
13-3,
talking.
13-3.
You talk about a low bar. We're talking about a low bar of they ain't bringing him there just to get him into the playoffs.
See,
They're bringing him there to win a Super Bowl.
but that's not the discussion you and I are
no, I
having
know
already.
that.
I don't care if
But
they're
that
bringing-
just shows you how far they have to jump. You know, when the Rams brought in Matt Stafford, they didn't have to make a jump from
Right.
perennial loser
They were
to the Super
truly
Bowl.
a quarterback away.
They were a
Yeah.
quarterback away. The Jets are not a quarterback away. Oh, and by the way, they're getting damaged goods who is not mentally there.
I agree.
And who is not he does not have a great
Yes.
work ethic. He's got a piss poor attitude.
He's a baby.
He's a baby.
He's a
you
huge
could make
baby.
and you should make the argument that he is a detriment to his teammates from a mental standpoint.
that's
In
why I
fact, that's
think that-
already been reported
that's why-
today that's happening.
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
Jets.
Oh, yeah. You missed that part
Yeah, you
too,
missed
John.
that one, John.
Yeah,
the Jets people are mad because this is getting dragged out.
The players.
He's already making people
Some
mad.
Jets players have been frustrated about the process dragging out. That was from Zach Rosenblatt, who covers the Jets for The Athletic. Nick, get Zach on the show. I want to talk to
I
this
mean,
guy.
it's all right there, man. It's all being
there.
It's all just being
Get
spilled out on
Shane
the paper, man.
there.
Right there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
This is gonna fall so flat. This could be
I
as bad
agree.
as Namath to the Rams.
I more want it to happen than anything, but I do believe it's going to happen, but I really, really want it to fall flat. I really want
It'd be
it.
really funny.
Yes.
Just for the content, him falling apart will be hysterical.
Yeah, it will.
Because he is a huge
he's going to get
baby.
dunked
Hey,
on.
listen,
so much.
Cancel culture caskets coming for me again. Like all that
yes.
garbage.
I wanted Brady to fail at every turn, but he never did.
He never did. Except for
Because-
this year. We were right. He was just in a bad division.
Yeah.
In a normal
he-
division,
he
they
had a
wouldn't have made the
bad-
playoffs.
Bad division, bad.
They got
team.
embarrassed by the Cowboys. That's pretty embarrassing.
But Brady was still good. And I don't think it was Brady's fault that the Bucs sucked this year. He did everything he could.
No, yeah, their problems went well
That's
beyond
fine,
Tom
but
Brady.
yeah.
And listen, I have been Team Rodgers for a long time, but
Mr. Rogers.
These last 2 years, I mean, it is grossly apparent. You know,
He doesn't care.
he doesn't care. He does not care. He's more interested in his weirdness.
He's very weird.
And
He's
all
really
that
good at being
noise
weird.
than he is in actually being a great quarterback and trying to win a Super Bowl. There's a reason why a guy of this talent hasn't been back to a Super Bowl since the one he went to.
Well, and then
there's a reason for that. And he's a big reason for it.
When he ultimately gets traded to the Jets, which he will, he's going to do a press conference, and then he is going to say, well, and they're going to ask him, well, why'd you drag it out so long? He's going to say, well, that wasn't me. That was the media.
Yeah.
And that was everything else around
sure.
me.
Now, listen, I don't, the stuff going around about he can't handle the New York media. First of all, the New York media is a bunch of pants.
He's the quarterback for the Packers.
No, I'm not talking about the New York. I'm just talking about he's a narcissist.
No,
That's
I know
what
he is. I know he is. But there's a theory out there that, the New York media is going to chew him up and spit him out. No, that ain't going to happen. But it'll just give him more fuel to blame the media.
Yeah.
Because,
for sure.
Because the Green Bay, Milwaukee media versus the New York media, I mean, is a totally different animal.
He will bunker down.
It's going to give him a bigger scapegoat target to shoot at.
Yeah. But yeah, he'll
that's
He'll
another
back himself
reason.
even further into the corner of I am the worst person.
Yeah. Oh, God, he's going to be insufferable.
Yeah.
I mean, he already is.
It's going to be great.
I can't wait.
Can't wait to find
God,
out.
I love football.
I can't wait till he pops up on like page 6
Oh.
and somebody sees him like out in the town.
Is he dating anyone these days? Because
Because
remember, he was dating Shailene Woodley, and
Yeah,
she got him into
and then Blue of
To
Earth.
the ayahuasca and the
but then
echinacea.
they broke up because they got engaged and then broke up.
And they dated a hippie for a couple minutes.
That's right.
And now he's dating, I believe, an heiress of something.
What?
Yes, he went back to sort of normal. He cut off his
I don't
long
know.
hair and just started dating.
His hair
like,
was really bad.
hot Instagram heiresses again.
Oh.
So
Instagram just influencers.
no, an heiress. She's an heiress of something. I can't remember what it is. Maybe like the Milwaukee Bucks.
All right,
or
I'll
something
look this
like
up.
that. I can't remember what it was.
There's heiresses for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, she inherits the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know.
That sounds like of all the heiresses
I thought it was
in
like
the
a
world, you know,
queen.
some heiresses inherit countries, some of them inherit media empires.
She's
What are
the
you
heir to the
heiress
throne of the
What are
Milwaukee
you the
Bucks.
heiress of?
Is it
The Milwaukee Bucks.
Mallory Edens.
That sounds kind of
Edens?
right. That sounds kind of right.
Why
What
for-
is she? What does she do?
It has not telling me yet.
I forgot that he was with Olivia Munn for a while.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, he
Yeah,
was?
There was the whole thing about the family
Wow.
came out.
Well, it
during
was
that.
Olivia Munn, and then it went to Danica Patrick.
And she was
she's-
into the crystals.
Oh yeah.
Wait, he
Remember-
dated Danica Patrick?
Oh yeah, I think he
Wow.
was engaged to her too.
They were together for a few years, and then then he started dating.
All right.
Shailene
Serial
Woodley.
monogamous.
I forgot about this. So I'm on his personal life page on Wikipedia. On Adam Brenneman's podcast in 2022, former Packers backup quarterback Deshaun Kaiser said that Rodgers expressed interest in 9/11 conspiracy theories. In one of the first meetings between the two quarterbacks, Kaiser described their discussion of conspiracy theories as, quote, a real thought experiment, end quote.
Oh, I remember this.
Me too. I think we had it in content.
Thought
Oh,
exercise.
Yeah.
She-
9/11.
She's
Go.
a former model and one of the daughter of Wes Edens, one of the Bucks primary owners.
The heiress of the Bucks.
heiress of
The heiress of
Talk
the
about
Bucks.
the Garden of Eden. Am I
Indigata Devita.
Nice, Nick. What's her name?
Mallory Edens?
Mallory
Edens? I'm not sure how it's pronounced.
Well, I'm sure it'll end well because they mostly deal with Aaron.
228,000 Instagram followers.
I'm still really thrown off by the Danica Patrick thing. I had no
Oh, you
idea.
didn't know?
Oh,
yeah, this
yeah.
was before you got into football.
I never
Oh, yeah.
thought
Yeah,
I never
she was
thought
at every game.
Danica
Oh, yeah.
was one of Rogers' types.
Well, it was
Well,
right
what
after
would you
Olivia
identify
Munn.
as Rogers' type?
I don't know. Danica Patrick just kind of threw me off. All of his other
Again, she's into crystals.
she's into crystals. I get it. That makes
Every time you say that, I think meth is following.
No, not crystal meth. Like I don't know what
No,
kind of
like that
crystals.
you
was
like,
she-
you like hold them and it's supposed to give you power or something like that. I
Oh
don't
my
know.
God, what is this? An episode of He-Man and Masters of the Universe?
it's all about vibes.
And then Roger's going to hold up the sword and say, I have
You
the
remember-
power.
John, you
Society
remember
is
those-
getting worse.
You
It's
remember
like
those
rose quartz
necklaces that
and
the baseball
stuff.
players used to wear that's supposed to like give
Give them balance.
like give them balance and strength. or
They would have
something
the
like that?
commercials for them.
Yeah.
Get 2 for $19.95 if you called this number now.
I think most of it is a
we had
placebo
a-
thing for people.
Yeah, you think?
If
we had
it
those
works for
things.
them, it works for them, but it's not my thing.
Listen, we had those things back in the day. They were called mood rings.
Mood rings. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Mood rings. I can use a mood ring.
Hey, how you doing? I don't want to talk to you. Really? Because your ring is green.
JD says, I knew Rodgers was a horrible human being when he was drafted. His mother hates him. That should tell you everything about the guy. Isn't it nuts that now the relationship with his family is like so far in the rearview mirror? Like,
Yeah.
we don't even mention
It's
that
not
anymore.
even like the 10th thing we talk about.
Yeah,
with them
because what
anymore.
was it? His brother that was on one of the dating shows and was like, yeah, he doesn't ever talk to us anymore. And I think that was how that news was broken.
Correct, but it had to do with Olivia Munn. She was like caught up in that mess. Somehow.
Oh, I thought that was the Danica era. Wow.
Maybe she had commented on it at some point. I don't know.
Yippee says Nick definitely is a crystal guy. Nick,
I'm not a crystal guy.
Not
I've
in
dated
a-
crystal girls, though.
that doesn't surprise me.
Wait, hold on. What is Crystal Girls?
Women, Nick, they're women.
Women.
Crystal ladies.
Yeah.
Women,
Well, if he was in-
ladies.
if he was in high school, we called them girls.
But I don't think he was.
Well, no, college, they were my age. I
Yeah.
women.
Yeah, I
Crystal
just want to
women.
make sure that as an adult, Nick wasn't dating a girl.
I
That's
was
all.
not.
Good on Nick.
Well, what is the crystal?
We were just
designation?
talking about
We were just talking about it. It's just some people think
I thought you were talking about
Again,
people
it's
that
not
work
meth.
it's not meth, John.
No, but then you said it, and I thought of Crystal hamburgers
All right. What about the hot sauce?
and the hot sauce.
All right, let's see. Crystals 101, a chat with Danica Patrick. Nope, I don't want to look at that. Good Lord. Yeah, we'll have to look this up later, John. And then
Oh,
PJ on
This is
YouTube.
going to be fun now. This is
What
going to be
is?
fun. The program now is officially out on Aaron Rodgers. We're just going to
Of course we are.
Oh,
openly
yeah.
rooting
I've never
against
liked Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
One
I
of my
used to
best
be a huge fan. That takes.
one of my best friends is a huge Packers fan, and he defends anything Rodgers does, and he keeps
Sick.
trying to send me
He'll hate
videos.
this guy and he'll hate him in a few
What a
days.
sicko.
then.
He keeps trying to send me videos, trying to convince me to like Aaron Rodgers, and it's like I don't like Aaron Rodgers. He keeps sending me Pat McAfee clips, like that's going to
Oh,
change my
That's what
perspective
he
on Aaron
does.
Rodgers.
He goes onto his safe
Yeah.
space, the Pat McAfee show.
Mhm.
Yippee adds, I dated a crystal girl too, Nick. And then he adds woman. Edit woman. Woman. So he dated a
Crystal
woman.
woman.
A crystal woman. And then
Poll
PJ
question,
is
have you
always
ever
with
dated a crystal woman.
Oh, that's a good poll question. PJ always with the most random comments on our YouTube page. Logan Paul's out of control. Need your takes, fellas.
Yeah, that guy. He just comes in with the hot.
And then you
topic of
ask
the
him, "What are
day.
you talking about?" And he just ignores you the rest of the day. Thanks a lot, PJ. We
Which one's
appreciate-
Logan and which one's Jay?
That's my question too.
Yeah, which one
'Cause
was
one
the
of
one
them-
who did the
one
thing
of-
in the forest?
Somebody got beat up.
They
by
both
somebody.
did the thing in the forest,
Oh, okay.
and everybody
Did it
just
have
kind
to do
of
with
forgave them
echinacea
for it.
too?
Huh?
What?
Did it have something to do with echinacea?
No,
too?
it was a Japanese suicide
Ayahuasca.
forest. There's like this forest where people go to commit suicide in Japan, and they just took a video of it and put it on YouTube, and
So
they were
what
just
What?
mocking it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And people just kind of forgave him for it. They just kind of
Nick's a huge fan of that podcast.
Yes.
they put out an apology video, and suddenly everything was okay.
Which one just got
Like-
beat up in a boxing match?
I think that was Logan, right?
Cool.
Which one's
Or is
on the
that Jake?
Browns?
I don't.
Isn't there one on the Browns or trying to get on the Browns?
I don't know about
You know
that.
way too much about the Paul universe.
I hate both of them,
I-
so
it's
I
all
don't
against
really
my
need
will.
to know the difference.
Are the Pauls like the male version of the Kardashians?
Ooh, good poll question. I think so.
Without
Well, no, because the Kardashians are actually smart, right? Like people don't want to think Kim Kardashian is smart. Kim Kardashian is smart.
Well, the old man was because that's where they made all their money.
Doug
Right.
Bates is Kim
And then the
Kardashian.
Kim
rest of them-
Kardashian
the rest of
is
them made-
smart.
The rest of them made money off of their looks and the sex video.
She sounds
They're famous for being famous.
they're famous
Bingo.
for being
Well,
famous, but Kim Kardashian is legitimately smart. I'm not a Kardashian defender either. She's
Yeah,
just
you
smart.
sound like one though.
Man, we got
Sorry
Josh
for
defending
defending-
Why do you think
Rodgers, and he
she's
doesn't want to
smart?
defend
What's so
Rodgers,
smart
and now
about
we
her?
got Nick defending Kim Kardashian.
she understands, but she's got business savvy. I saw a video once. She was just like talking about it. It's the way she talks where people
Well,
don't
I
think
have
that she's
business
smart. but-
savvy too. If I make more money than I spend, I'm making a profit.
Good job, John.
Thank you.
Jordan says Nick is still having health scares because he refuses to use modern medicine and holds a crystal. Nick's sitting over there
Sounds
with
like
his
a
crystal.
Photoshop idea.
Yes.
Nick with his crystal hanging around his
Ah,
neck.
Jordan. Nick getting defensive over Kim Kardashian. Quarter.
You know what? Sorry for defending a smart woman on
See,
Women's
that's- I
History
knew that's
Month,
what it
Josh.
was about. It's because she's a woman. And he's like, I don't want to get canceled.
No, it's not why. I do
Listen,
think
it's
that she's
okay to get
intelligent.
canceled over Kim Kardashian and the rest of the Kardashians.
I have no takes on Kim Kardashian. least she divorced Kanye. That was a smart.
That
move.
was very smart.
She's
There
a
you go.
genius.
All right.
Props
Yeah.
to props to
But
Nick.
she also got married to Kanye.
But as
Ooh.
Chance points out, reproducing with Kanye
Yes.
was not smart.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But
What's
I
the
think
name of their
Kanye took
child?
the
Bad's
one
good.
northwest.
I think they had multiple
That's right, I
children.
forgot.
One of them was northwest.
I forgot the name of the direction.
Didn't they- yeah, what are the other names of those kids?
Probably something stupid.
Southwest.
Who was the one who had the kid Apple? Who was Apple?
Fiona.
That's
Apple.
Was she the one in
Gwyneth
Iron Man?
Paltrow.
Yeah,
Gwyneth
Gwyneth
Paltrow.
Paltrow.
Yeah, her and Coldplay lead singer Chris Martin.
Apple. And then who was the one who named it like a signal? Their child is it's like a A.
Elon
that was
Elon Musk.
Yeah, it was Elon.
God, rich people are so weird. Just
Well,
the
you got to
strangest-
remember, Prince once upon a time tried to change his name to a.
Oh,
symbol.
that's right. He
Yeah,
did.
but Prince is cool.
R.I.P. Prince.
Yeah, but it's still a dumb move.
Well, rich people. They're
All
very
right.
weird.
Good point.
Kim and Kanye's kids are named the following: North,
Okay.
Saint, Chicago, and Psalm.
God.
Psalm, as in Bible psalm.
Yeah.
Correct.
P-
Kanye is really Bible-y,
Oh yeah.
which is fine. But like I think he took a major 180 in the last 3 years. I think when they first got married, he wasn't as bad. What did
That
Chance
dude's
do?
taking
No,
so
it's
many
Dion.
180s, he's just constantly spinning
Oh,
out of
Dion.
control.
Dion showed up. Her butt is grossly fat. She probably can't wipe. What the hell? Dion. Dion.
Dion's here.
Dion.
Dion.
What the hell?
That's Dion. That automatically goes to the head of the line, and Dion's best messages to the Grum.
That's got to go to the
Her
text
butt-
line,
what
right?
is that? Her butt is so grotesquely large.
No,
she-
grossly fat. She probably
You
can't
can't
wipe. Wow, Dion. KD says, Nick, it takes you years to build a reputation and a minute to tarnish it, and that defense of Kim Kardashian killed you. Wow. Yeah, you just destroyed your
I think
reputation.
I would watch a. I think I would. You know, I would probably watch a reality show. Kim learns to wipe her butt.
You just want to see her butt.
No,
It was on a magazine,
I was
John.
gonna
It
say,
broke the
no, no,
internet.
It's on the internet.
I don't need to see it. It's just the thought of it.
The thought of her
You
butt.
know, well, just the thought of her having to go from store to store, and it's like, how do I do this? And then people are like creating robotic arms.
And she would do it. Why, John? Because she's a smart
businesswoman.
businesswoman.
Nailed it, Nick.
There it
She
is.
knows about money and stuff.
Man. This crossover.
That can be on right after Farmer Wants a Wife.
Farmer
Farmer Wants a
Fox
Wife,
show?
followed by Kim Learns to Wipe Her Butt tonight on Fox.
Would not watch.
That does seem like a Fox show.
Yeah. Followed by Tucker Carlson.
And then Gutfeld.
And then Gutfeld. Time for the
Gutfeld.
comedy, baby.
We got their lineup.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Forgot about Gutfeld.
I just want to say Happy New Year.
Happy New
definitely.
Year.
Happy
well,
New Year.
This has to
Yeah.
be a Happy New Year because when
You
you
know,
know
too many guarantees.
when the Jets are 15-2 when this plays back,
Oh,
I'm
it'll
going to
be
look
funny.
really bad.
Yeah, they're heading into
Of course,
the playoffs.
they'll be 15-2 because Trey Lance, who left Frisco to go to the Jets, is
Oh, that would be fun.
Maybe we're barreling down a Jets Giants Super Bowl.
Oh, don't you say that.
I don't know.
Nah, they're going to.
Darren Waller.
No. God, that would suck.
That just happened today for those of you who are listening.
Yeah,
to
did you see this? Did you hear about this?
I did
Yes.
see Darren Waller,
Hmm.
who was not Aaron Rodgers
Who is not Aaron Rodgers? No.
and doesn't have a problem wiping his rear
Well, that we know of.
that we know of.
That we know of.
Maybe if
Not
it's in
that
the
we know
dark.
that Kim does either. That's just what Dion.
That's what
is saying.
Dion said. Dion.
Didn't Aaron talk about like he was asked about going to the
Rodgers?
bathroom when he was in the dark house?
Oh,
for
I didn't
those-
see that. What did he
Yeah.
say?
I thought he had some quote about he had the opportunity to
To wipe?
wipe.
Oh, that's
use
good.
The restroom.
What did he eat?
They came in and like gave him a tray. Like he was in solitary confinement, basically.
Odd.
He's a
This
weirdo.
Jets is why you fail.
You signed a weirdo, man.
Yeah,
Or you're about to
You're
probably
about
trade
to
for
sign
You're
him.
going to
a
trade
weirdo.
for a
Trade
weirdo.
for a
Trade
weirdo.
for a weirdo.
Yeah.
Give up a lot to get him. In a $60 million
And then the
contract.
Packers are going to spin those picks into an 8-9 season, which will
Yeah.
be 2 games better than the Jets. And
But
I'll
the-
be happy.
But it's March. The Bears are good now.
The Bears are
They
good.
traded the #1 pick. They have DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats to the Bears. Props to the Lions, the division champs in 2023.
It took the rest of the division to blow itself to smithereens.
really
but
did.
God bless you.
The Vikings are just kind of sitting there. They're like, hey,
Yeah,
what about
yeah, that's
us?
true.
They're going to regress to
Hello.
4-12 next year.
Oh, it's going to be bad.
4-13,
They're going to lose every one score game.
Yeah.
Every one score game
Mhm.
they will lose. it's not going to be very good. Yeah, indeed.
All right.
Okay.
Well, it was indeed a happy new year.
Oh, before you go, Happer.
Uh-oh.
Now, I don't even know how this is pronounced, but I'll just say his first
Oh,
name.
Oleg?
Oleg.
Oleg Kolinets?
Oleg's in the portal?
Portal boy.
Oh my God.
Where's my portal? Where's my portal music? Do we have our portal music? Oh, is that on the
No, you put it on the stream yard.
Oh, that's right. I put it on the stream.
Oh, Josh did point out Adam Thielen. He's gone and out of Minnesota. So they made one change. They trade
their
a
best
defensive
receiver
player?
of the last 10 years.
No.
Well, consistently.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I know that they had.
I was going to say Diggs and
Yeah, they had
Diggs,
Jefferson. But I'm saying
People
I'm saying consistently over 10 years.
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. Consistently over 10.
Yeah.
Not the best one currently.
Oleg is the first portal guy. Wow. Who might be next?
Let's find out as the world turns.
Bryce Benhart.
I think there's almost 400 guys in the portal now.
What was it at the start of the show? Like 200 something?
Well, it was like got over 200 yesterday on the first day alone.
Yeah, I think we
right?
were at 350 in that range at the start of the show.
Yeah.
I think we're inching closer and closer.
But Nick was just drive by Bryce Benhart. Man, he hates that guy.
I can't stand him.
Do you like when he stood there on that extra
That's
Oh
the
God,
play.
I loved it so
That's
much.
the play that triggers him.
Just do your job, my guy. Just do it.
He's in college.
Walk forward and then block. That's all you got to do.
You don't have to walk forward. Actually, you can just stand up, really.
You got to drive, though. And he
Not
did
really.
just
Not an
stand
extra
up.
point. You just stand up.
Just bothers
I
me.
love the irrational hatred.
Yeah,
It's very funny.
Bryce Benhart.
Bryce Benhart.
Because he's not even a Nebraska fan.
I'm not. I don't know why it bothers me so much.
I don't know either.
It just does.
All right, well, Connor.
Mr. Casey needs to throw a football at his face.
Bye, Happer.
Have yourself a day. That was fun.
Mm.
All right, program coming up, 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley.
So people said the man bun.
Yeah.
Do you know that that's not what it's called this day?
What is it called these days?
It is called, I wrote this down, a top knot.
A top knot. I
Did not know that.
I like
So it
that
has
better
gone-
than a man bun.
It has gone from the man bun to the top knot. That's how it is described.
Okay. I need to transition into that because it's man bun. It's been thrown out there so many times, easy to use. Top knot. Now that's kind of fun. Yeah. Okay.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Your Tuesday afternoon forecast will include mostly sunny skies with breezy conditions. I'm tracking a high of 48 degrees. For tonight, remaining clear with temperatures cooling into the mid-30s. Much milder for your Wednesday. Partly cloudy skies, a strong south breeze. Tracking a high of 62. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
Here's this week's Maverick Minute. Omaha Mavericks hockey season came to an end last Sunday after a loss to North Dakota in Game 3 of the NCHC quarterfinals at Baxter Arena. They ended the season with winning records at Baxter Arena and on the road. Omaha women's basketball team, who had been picked last in the league, ended their season last Tuesday with a loss to South Dakota State in the Summit League Tournament Finals. And that's your Maverick Minute on your home for the Mavs. News Talk 1290, 1180 The Zone, and 1620 The Zone.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale starts now with limited quantity deals on select performance PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Save on select essential accessories plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Nick Handley here for my friends at DJ's Dugout. If you're like me, you love March basketball. DJ's is the place to watch all of the exciting tournament games. DJ's has all the feeds to watch all the big tournament games on huge media walls at the same time. And cheer for Creighton with a Blue Jay lemonade, of course, plus great daily food and drink specials. DJ's Dugout is locally and Vietnam veteran-owned. 7 metro locations. Dig in at the Dugout.
Many people go back to the dealership out of habit or because they think the dealer is the only one who knows how to fix their car. At Omaha Car Care, we offer a better option. We have ASE certified technicians, the technology to service any vehicle, and free loaner cars. The dealer will sell you a package of services. We'll provide the service you want for your car as your trusted partner. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
What was it some famous football coach once said? Attitude isn't just one thing, it's the only thing. Here's an opportunity where your positive attitude can take your career to amazing places. Places like McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air and Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. Along with being a fantastic place to work, the benefits are top shelf and they'll even train the right individual. Click the career tab at mccarthys1hour.com. McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air and Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. Equal opportunity employer.
Shingles add beauty and protection to your home. You want the best for long-lasting value. You want CertainTeed shingles, and you want an experienced company to do the job right. You want Carp's Complete Home Exteriors. Local, reputable, the best. It's Carp's.
This edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone is proudly presented by Union Bank and Trust. The program starts now.
KOZN. Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, and Nick. They'll show you what sports talk really is.
We got Brian Christopherson in today for Michael Bruns. We're going to preview NC State with Matt Carter of the Wolf Packer and Eric Edholm. Will we have an Aaron Rodgers decision by Eric Edholm time?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
Well, we asked, that. Because who was it yesterday? It was Mike White.
Mike White.
From the
Mike
Jets.
the Wallet Man White.
When he
White.
When he left,
Yo, Mr. White.
someone put wings on his picture.
Yeah,
and
the fan,
made it look-
WFAN.
Made it look like he was gone. So in honor of Oleg Kolinets entering the transfer portal, Shangping Appreciation Club now has a picture of Oleg in one of the few times he actually was on the court.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
With wings. Gone too soon.
Man,
Thank you, Oleg.
Thank you. And he made it black and white.
It looks good. It's
it does.
really good.
It's very sad. Very sad. The portal entries have begun.
A lot of portal entries.
It's that time of year.
I'm almost
Portal
ready.
time.
I'm almost
Portal
ready
time.
to unfollow the account that I started following a couple of years ago because it's updating so often.
Oh God, way too many tweets.
Yeah, that's a lot of tweets.
Yeah, no thanks.
A lot of tweets for, hey, another guy from low major is transferring.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, I don't need that.
Great.
It's good. Like, make a website and I'll go to the website. You can have it updated. Just update the website.
That's a good idea.
It's like the list. It's like the list for
like the
portals.
list. Yeah, imagine if we put every entry of the list
God. Get the portal
on
X.
on the Twitter machine, on the J Tech Construction Zone Twitter machine.
Be typing up a storm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to do that.
Nonstop.
Don't want to do that. No.
Yeah, Brian Christopherson today on our Roof Freeze lineup, powered by the Roof Freeze at John Higgins Weather Guard. Michael Bruns is out this week, but BC will fill in his place. Matt Carter covers the North Carolina State Wolfpack. For the Wolfpacker.
For the Wolfpacker. Nice. Nice.
And Eric Edholm of NFL Media. A lot of stuff going on with trading and free agenting and tampering and Aaron Rodgers.
Last year you were triggered by Tom Brady announcing he's coming back on Selection Sunday.
I was. It was stupid. Read the room, pal. Read the room.
I cared way more about the Brady news than tournament. We're definitely going to learn
because you're just a bad person.
No, because I'm an American and I like football more than basketball. Sue me.
Big America guy.
Isn't this going to lead right to Aaron Rodgers doing the same thing? Like the trade's probably going to happen on Thursday. It'll be like 11 a.m. Oh, breaking news. Aaron Rodgers got traded.
You know what the best part will be is I will be watching basketball
You'll probably be watching a practice, won't you?
Maybe, but either way.
Da, 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 da.
Oh, look at my phone. I will have a hearty laugh.
Oh, will you?
Yep.
I'll
And
be
say-
like, cool,
and say
NFL
the Packers
news.
just got better today. And then move on with my day.
Hmm.
And wait for the glorious time when the Jets end up with a losing record again. But that's neither here nor
I'm going to
there.
add it to the list. The Jets will be better than 500 next year if Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback.
Get the eggs.
All right, there you go.
Wow, that's a real right there on the limb.
No, what do you mean?
That's literally, they're literally bringing him there
Right
to win
there.
a Super Bowl.
I
think the Jets will win a football
That's
game.
not my
Oh,
take,
there you
though.
go.
My take isn't that they'll win the Super Bowl. It's that they'll be better than 500.
Cool.
You're saying the exact opposite.
Your team wasn't better than
but
500.
they didn't bring him
Thank
there.
you.
They didn't bring him. They're
I'm
bringing
not
him to New
bringing
York
him
to go
anywhere.
9-8.
I'm not their GM. They're going to go
That's
to the
just a-
playoffs.
that's just a weak thing
The
to put
Jets
on
will
the
make
list.
the playoffs. Is
There
that
you go.
okay?
That's
All right.
better.
Eggs.
All right, there we
That's
go.
a little better.
All right. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, though.
Yeah, but to say they're going to have a winning record, literally all they need
Right.
is 2 more wins than they had last year.
They're going to the playoffs.
As a spectator.
Because the Dolphins are going to knock him out.
Definitely not. The Dolphins will
Probably
not
not.
make the playoffs next year. I'm not going to put it on the list, but I definitely don't think that they'll win.
Are you too scared to put it on the list?
I just don't. I already closed the document.
You worried?
I already closed.
What
the
if I want it on the list?
I already closed the
Oh,
document.
there's a lot of lists. A lot of news.
Yeah.
Andy wants to know, Nick,
Hello, Andy.
show us on the doll where Bryce hurt you.
Yeah, seriously.
I've gotten footballs thrown at my face for doing less than what Ben Hart did.
Yeah,
and
well-
nobody threw a football at his
Well,
face.
according
Nebraska
to you, no
football-
one could do less than Ben Hart did.
Nebraska football was soft as hell last year.
They
in the
were.
last few years, so
They
they
were.
probably praised him for that play. Oh, good job for trying, Bryce. That's why they always win 3 or 4 games.
on the field when we asked you to be
Yeah, exact. Hey, baby steps for this program.
Baby steps for this
At
program.
least they didn't false start.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yet.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, in addition to our fine guests on the Roofery's starting lineup,
Aaron Rodgers.
I think we've kind of.
I guess we've hit on all the topics with old Aaron.
We've hit on Aaron
All
today.
right.
I mean,
All
well, and I'm sure we'll touch on more of it with Eric Edholm. But I got a friend of the program sent us a nice little primer for the tournament, a betting primer.
Ooh.
And
You had me at betting.
we found some interesting things about
That'd be a prime.
we found some good things
Amazon?
and we found some bad things
Oh,
about the Creighton Blue Jays on there that we'll share coming up later in the program. And in fact, I am going to use this guide when I fill out my brackets. Tonight is night where I dive
oh,
into
you
my
still haven't
brackets.
even done it yet.
On 1620thezone.com.
When- I have
Good
not
call,
had
Nick.
time.
I did it yesterday during the crossover. You could have done it yesterday during
Well,
the crossover.
no. I want to put together a serious bracket, not just a I'm going to put some thought into it.
I always do it
And I'm going to
fast.
use
So
this
she said.
guide as my guide for putting thought into it.
Okay.
And you're always welcome to join us if you want to put things on the list. Or if you want to hate on Bryce Benhart, as Nick does.
Yes.
Or if you want to defend Aaron Rodgers, as Josh does. 402-951-1620 is the hotline. You can also text us at that same number. JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed at USC 1620 and the Equitable Bank inbox. John at 1620thezone.com or Josh at 1620thezone.com. Are we rooting for Can or Cole today?
Colorado?
Yeah, it could be confusing. It's Colombia.
I like Colombia's
Home
colors.
of the richest coffee in the world.
Go Colombia.
Next time they show Canada's coach, he looks like Sipple, but like bigger. Like a bigger version of
A
Sipple.
chunky Sipple?
bigger
He looks like
Canadian
chunky
Sipple.
Canadian Sipple.
Okay. Yeah, we got Canada and Colombia.
I'm going for Canada. Oh, Canada. Get the moose out there.
Yeah, it's a pretty good uniform lineup.
Okay.
Pretty good uniform matchup. But I agree, those Colombian uniforms.
Yeah, those are
pretty nice.
sweet. Go
Those
Colombia.
are good colors.
Yeah.
Those are Rams colors. But they're very nice.
They are indeed.
All right. Well, I'm glad you could be with us today as we enjoy our 36 hours of spring.
You're not even going to be here for the bad stuff. Why do you care?
Just Just sharing the information.
Why do you have to be negative? Why can't we say this is great?
36
awesome
hours
weather.
is a long
negative
time.
boys.
The negative boys.
Exactly.
Boys,
Stop being so
boys.
negative
36
about
hours is a long time.
Just so snarky.
My name's John, and I have to be in
Yeah.
Denver.
Oh, yes.
I wasn't.
Just
No, I'm
so
not complaining. I'm just saying.
I have to
36
wake up
hours.
and see the mountains. Oh.
Yeah, so snarky all the time. I'm happy. This is great. It's in the 40s. The sun is seeing. We're
That's
seeing
what I
the
said.
sun.
36 hours. That's a
Yeah,
good long
but
time.
I heard the tone. I know your tone.
The tone boys.
I know your tone.
I don't know.
It's a bad tone. It's a negative tone.
I thought it was a positive tone.
What tone? What tone?
There's no tone. No tone here. There's no toning.
No toning.
On 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
Summer is almost here, and with 31 days in March, you can save $31 every month at Genesis Health Clubs. Ends Wednesday at midnight. If you don't get started on your fitness goals today, then when? Next week? Next year? Life's too short for that. Hi, I'm Rodney Stephen with Genesis Health Clubs, here all month giving you 31 reasons to get started toward your summer fitness goals now. Reason number 11, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Reason number 12, what seems impossible today will one day become your warm-up. Reason number 13, the extra mile is never crowded. Reason number 14, we don't judge you if you just show up and sometimes sit in the sauna or the hot tub. It's good for you. Reason number 15, you can't show up for your family without taking care of your health first. 31 days in March, 31 reasons to get started today, and $31 to save every month when you get started at Genesis Health Clubs. Ends Wednesday at midnight. There is no tomorrow for your health. Go to GenesisHealthClubs.com today to get started.
Let me get you up to speed on the service that you need.
Is your car making a howling, growling, or crunching noise? It could be related to the drivetrain, which consists of your transmission, your transfer case, and differentials. Omaha Transmission is specialized in diagnosing and repairing all those components. Don't diagnose it yourself. Take out the guesswork and have us tell you for sure.
Transmission, shifting to running smooth.
Time for an NCAA tournament schedule preview. March Madness is upon us with first 4 game action getting underway tonight and continuing on Wednesday from Dayton. Then on Thursday, 16 games, including number 1 seeds Houston, Kansas, and Alabama taking the floor, followed on Friday by the East Region number 1 seed Purdue joining the fray. Follow all the games and scores from across the country with Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the NCAA tournament right here.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale starts now with limited quantity deals on select performance PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Save on select essential accessories plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it. For the third time since 2011, both Creighton men's and women's basketball teams made the NCAA tournament in the same season back-to-back years. It's a feat just 11 other schools can claim this season, with such notables as Arizona, Baylor, Gonzaga, Texas, and UCLA also on the list. For the Creighton women, the 6th seed in South Bend is the best in program history. Listen for coverage of both Creighton men's and women's basketball in the NCAA tournament on 1620 The Zone and 1180 The Zone.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Barry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Barry Law today. 402-999-7777.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
We had dueling polls
on 1620 The Zone.
Well, after accusing me of having a tone, I should mention that both Nebraska baseball and softball are moving their series to Kansas this week. Baseball's moving down to Manhattan, and the softball team's moving down to Lawrence. So
sad. I won't be here. I don't care about the weather on Thursday. I'm going to be gone.
So why are you accusing me of having a tone?
Because you're going to be gone too. Why do we care about Thursday weather? We're going to be gone.
I'll be here, guys.
I don't care. No
we're
offense,
here
Nick,
for
I don't care.
We're here for the people. We're here for you.
But if I'm not in town, you think I'm bothered by the weather? No. I care about the weather where I'm going to be.
So as long as, if
next week, it's going to be fine.
If the killer tornado is going to hit,
Well,
Josh is fine as long as he's not in town when it happens.
My family lives here. I don't want them to worry about a killer.
Well, that's why I don't want your family to be affected
So
by.
you do worry about the weather when you're not here.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess so. Yeah, sure.
I just don't want your family to be affected by killer third winter.
I mean, neither do I. It's going to snow just a little teensy weensy bit.
Don't even say that.
Isn't it going to be like more wet stuff than anything? Like sleet?
Oh, that's what she said.
Yeah, well, you do what you can.
I saw this morning, but even though there were a lot of folks at the beginning of the season that were hoping that, with a good year, Creighton would end up in Des Moines and then maybe routed through
Des Moines,
Kansas City for their route to the NCAA Final Four. Well, they got kind of the second best, right? I mean,
definitely Denver.
Denver's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Ticket prices for this is for all 4 games of opening day, right? So this is both sessions on the first day of the tournament.
Yeah. Which is what you want to do. It's the most fun.
Yeah. Now, some people will just buy the session that their team is in, which is understandable too.
Go to that game, yeah.
But to make a one-to-one comparison, so I looked up on tickpick.com the most expensive NCAA first day ticket prices. Not surprisingly, Birmingham easily first. Almost $750 to get in. Wow. Now, in Birmingham, you have both Alabama and Auburn.
Yeah, which is crazy because if Auburn wins, then they're playing a 1 seed, and it's basically going to be a home game.
Yes.
Crazy.
They would play Houston.
Ooh, that's tough for Houston.
They would play Houston. So you feel bad for Iowa fan who wants to just go down there. It's like, damn.
Yeah, so much for that.
Get-in price, $748 for an all-day pass.
Yep.
In second is Denver, $370.
Wow, that's half.
It's half of what Birmingham is.
Wow.
But it's still second most expensive. You also have Gonzaga, which typically has a decent fan base.
Mm-hmm.
Got a couple of teams from Texas and Baylor and TCU. NC State's coming from the furthest away. But I think that ticket price is probably up there mainly because of Creighton.
Mm-hmm.
You got people that can make that drive. They don't even have to worry about flights or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Albany, $364. UConn is close. So
okay.
UConn's probably driving up the price there. Followed by Sacramento, Orlando, Des Moines. Des Moines has Kansas and Arkansas. But it's the third cheapest, $221 get in for all 4 games.
I mean, don't you figure Kansas fans they'll drive up the price for next weekend or the Final Four?
Yeah, but you would think
save
that
save a little scratch.
You would think, because I remember last year, down in Fort Worth, Kansas was very well represented down in Fort Worth, and you would think Des Moines. I mean, we're talking, and let's face it, Kansas has fans.
I was going to say they
Missouri
have fans in Des Moines
and in Iowa, probably.
Yeah.
But I was a little surprised it's only $221 for the get-in price for Des Moines. And then Greensboro and Columbus is the cheapest. So the Marquette fans and the Michigan State fans and the Purdue fans, And the Memphis fans, you're getting in the cheapest. That's according to TickPick.com.
And that was what weekend is that just for the first days?
That's for the first day.
Okay.
The first day in each of the 8 cities.
Okay.
For all 4 games, getting an all-session pass for the first day.
Okay. Because I want to know what happens if it's Texas versus Texas A&M for a trip to the Sweet 16 and what those ticket prices would be. And where is that one at again?
That's Des Moines.
Because that one could get spicy in terms
Well,
of...
you have the potential of a Kansas, Illinois, Texas A&M.
I mean, that's crazy. Because when's the last time they saw each other in hoops? Is it when they were in the league together? Are we talking about over a decade?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, my gosh. And they haven't seen each other on the football field?
Now,
that would be awesome.
But here's the thing. Des Moines is not the easiest town to get into in terms of flights.
No.
So you would think if you're...
How many people are flying to Omaha, you think, and then driving there?
There could be a few.
I mean, I know it's 2 hours, but it's only 2 hours. It's not that long.
There could be a few. There could be a few.
What's the other option? Like Chicago?
That's way too far away.
Yeah,
that'd be a 6-hour drive.
Yeah.
Well, Chicago would be the transfer because you can get from Chicago.
Oh, I thought you were. I was talking about where you finish. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you'd almost be the same if you flew into St. Louis. Almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it would drive those prices up or not. But would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jays fans, if you're looking to get in Denver, it's going to cost you a little bit more. The market is up, but not as bad as in Birmingham.
Wow,
not as bad as in Birmingham.
$750. That is crazy.
$750. That would be amazing, though. Both Bama, if Auburn is playing a virtual home game
as a 9 seed
against the supposed top seed,
yeah,
right. Yeah, I mean, Kansas wasn't good enough to be the number 1 overall seed.
Yeah, they didn't get the second round though, or the second weekend in Kansas City.
Right.
Interesting.
Right. All right. Coming up, Michael Bruntz is out today, but Brian Christopherson is N, as the kids might say in Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
That and more on the tournament. And a little bit later on, is the scheduling of the Big Ten tournament a reason why the Big Ten fails on the biggest stage?
Huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That theory has been proffered on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Are you the kind of person who feels sorry for anyone who works in an office? If you prefer to be outdoors in the sun, or the rain, or the hot, or the cold, then Quality Irrigation would like just 30 seconds of your time. If you have experience with irrigation systems and would love to work with a team that'll make your career more rewarding, Quality Irrigation is the kind of company that'll reward your hard work, smart ideas, and initiative. Visit quality-irrigation.com and click the Careers tab to apply today. Equal Opportunity Employer.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is Cops. Receive 2 $25 gift vouchers for just $25. Cops makes delicious pizza, fresh salads, and tasty charred wings. For the basic menu, click copspizza.com. And for the extended menu, visit them at Shadow Lake Town Center, 180th and Center, and the newly reopened 72nd and Jones locations.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Doctors Bimbo and Vince Petro provide quality and caring dentistry for the entire family in a friendly, relaxed environment at the northwest corner of 144th and Dodge. New patients are always welcome. Look no further than Doctors Bimbo and Vince Petro, dentistry for the entire family.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. I hate the struggle of tough, greasy messes on my stovetop. So I just freak, wipe, and I'm done.
When I'm frustrated with stubborn bathtub soap scum, I just freak, wipe, and I'm done.
Mr. Clean Clean Freak delivers an innovative cleaning experience with a powerful deep cleaning mist that starts working on contact to break down tough messes in seconds.
Just freak,
wipe,
done.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalized this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about. Just happy to be here.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Let me get you up to speed on the service that you need.
Katie was recently told by a competitor that her transmission needed to be replaced. She thought the cost seemed a little too high, so she called us. We towed it from that shop and verified the transmission was in fact bad. We did the job and saved her over $1,500. Sometimes a second opinion can save you a lot of money. Don't overpay. Call Omaha Transmission.
Omaha Transmission, shifting to running smooth.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Like I said earlier, I'm gonna do a deeper dive into my brackets tonight and try to come up with the best one. I never do good at these things, but I'm really going to put some thought into it this time.
I think it's going to suck.
It probably is, but
Wow.
whether I try or don't try, but I'm curious.
Do or do not, there is no try, John.
Yeah, Yoda said it once.
I know.
People forget about Yoda.
But I am fascinated by the numbers of folks who see a deep tournament run by the Creighton Blue Jays. I was reading Matt Norlander today. Matt Norlander has
him in the Final Four, right?
He ranked all of the teams and had Creighton 23rd. But yeah,
has him in the Final Four though.
He has him in the Final Four.
This is one of those spots, and I look forward to talking with Matt Carter at 4. Where
and by the way, the other 3 that he has in are all 1 seeds. He's got Houston, Gonzaga, or not Gonzaga. Gonzaga is not a 1 seed.
There are 3.
Houston, Purdue, Gonzaga, Creighton.
So he has 1, 1, 3, 6.
Yeah,
they are the epitome of like that. Like eye test versus metrics, right? Like I think if you are someone who does not have them going far in the tournament, a lot of that is just based off of the results of the season. The actual pen to paper, traditional wins, losses. What do they look like when you see them play? Inconsistency, all those things. If you have them going far, and I'm painting with a broad brush, I know. If you have them going far, you're looking at a lot of the advanced stuff that says they're a top 15, top 10, top 11, whatever it is. You're looking at a lot of those things. I personally, I can't get there with the latter group. I'm with the former group because I have watched them and I think that they are inconsistent. And I guess they look, I could end up being wrong and they could put together a nice stretch, or I could be right and they could lose on Friday. You know, for the record, I don't have them losing on Friday, but I think that where you come down on either of those two sides of the argument tells us, or if you just really like them or really hate them, you know, besides that. But if you're kind of a neutral observer and just you're trying to be right, I think that's one of those two buckets is going to explain where you come down on.
And that's where, you know, these pundits are coming from. I was like Paolo Banchero, last year's Duke sensation, now with the Orlando Magic. Creighton Final Four.
Whoa, wow. Big analytics guy.
Big analytics guy, Paolo Banchero. And in fact, he has Creighton and Duke, Houston and Gonzaga.
Creighton, Duke, Houston, Gonzaga. So what do you got?
Yeah.
What's Duke? Is there a
Duke's a 5.
Wow,
Duke's
so you have
another
a 1, 3, 5,
Duke's
6?
another popular pick, but a lot of that
I ain't doing that.
A lot of that is because of the region that they're in. And not a lot of people trust Purdue, and people are still doubting Marquette, which of course now Shaka's radar just went, what, they're doubting us?
He's going to jump around even more now.
He's going to spaz out even more. Probably wear 2 layers of long sleeve undershirts. But yeah, Duke has been a very popular pick out of the East because it just looks like, oh, you know what? It's Duke. Even though this is John Shire's first year, it's not Coach K anymore. But yeah, you're right. I think it's kind of safe to paint with a broad brush that a lot of the folks who are picking Creighton to make a deep run are looking at the analytics and probably still relying on the preseason expectation. Because Creighton, save for the couple of weeks that Ryan Kalkbrenner was under the weather, has not, knock on wood, suffered the big injury. Even in Norlander's write-up of the rankings of the teams, a starting 5 that can compare with the best in college basketball. And that's been one of the things that, as long as the Jays don't get in foul trouble. Now, this is something that has not been talked about much, at least here. I'm guessing it's been discussed behind the scenes. The effect of the altitude.
Someone just mentioned that on the YouTube chat.
The effect of the altitude. Because this is not a deep team. This is a team, the starters are going to average 35 minutes in this tournament each. And how much of an effect that may have. Because the last time I remember the Jays playing at anything, and can you look up what is the altitude in Provo, Utah, home of BYU, because they played an NIT game there about 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago. What is the altitude?
4,551 feet. And what's it in Denver?
And Denver is
it's over a mile because they call it.
It's like 5280.
5279.
5279, which
1 mile.
Which is 1 mile. So, but that is the last time I remember playing a game at altitude.
And do you remember it being?
I honestly,
they lost that game, right?
They did. They lost that game, and now it was a BYU home game. It was the NIT. I don't remember that being a factor. I don't remember that being a talking point. But different circumstance here. A few more feet up in the air. I do wonder if that is going to be a concern or not. With it, because honestly, you can win without a bench in the NCAA tournament.
Sure,
it's been done before.
Yeah.
Go back and look at Villanova's bench in 2016. They didn't play very deep. Didn't play very deep a couple of years after that either. And most teams don't usually play very deep in the tournament. The bench usually gets smaller as the games get more and more in importance. Well, Creighton's already used to playing that way. But in a case like this, fatigue and foul trouble are the two things that are going to affect you in those circumstances. But it hasn't been talked about very much. So,
yeah, and how do you even defend or prepare for that?
Well, you prepare for it by going there and practicing there. And
Yeah,
I know they have 2 practice days prepared out there to get ready.
What, tomorrow and Thursday?
Tomorrow and Thursday. Another advantage of maybe playing on Friday. So you're right. I think a lot of the people that are looking at a deep run, they're looking at the numbers, they're looking at the analytics. And a lot of the folks who are a little more skeptical are going, yeah, but this is an inconsistent team.
That's where I'm at.
You know what the funny thing is? They're playing another team that is pretty inconsistent.
That's what happens when you're 6 and you're playing an 11, right?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
this is not a foreign concept. Teams that are at this spot in the season tend not to always be the best in terms of being able to string together great performances on a regular basis.
You're not a 10 seed playing a,
Right.
Playing it's only a 7. You're not a 14 playing a 3.
Right.
You're not a 13 playing a 4. Adam says, I don't know where this narrative is coming from that CU will be tired because they only play 7 guys. Most teams are in that boat at this point in the season. NC State only plays 7. Baylor only plays 6. Why does this narrative only apply to CU?
No, it doesn't. I'm just saying, but the altitude, that's where it could play in.
Mm-hmm.
And the good news is the Jays don't foul a lot.
Yeah.
Typically, they don't foul a lot. So it hasn't been a major issue. But it'll be something worth watching. But it's the inconsistency. Let's face it. For those people here on the ground floor, the 6-game losing streak still has a mark on them.
See, it's funny because for me, I don't really think about that very much. I think about like everything else after that. And the end of the season and some of those losses are the ones that are sticking with me.
Sure.
The Villanova loss and then the loss on Friday. Those are the ones that are actually sticking with me more than the 6-game losing streak is now so far in the rear view. That was December.
And it is a different team.
Yeah.
But again, for some,
Kalkbrenner.
But you look at the Villanova game, the Philadelphia Villanova game.
That's the one that's sticking with me. And then what happened on Friday. Those are the games that are sticking with me. We got a text from the 402 that asks, what's the elevation at NC State? All right, so we're just going to keep you an elevation for random cities, 315 feet.
Well, yeah, they're close to the ocean.
And then what is Omaha?
Omaha's like a 1,200?
1,060.
That was close.
Unless you're doing some hill work.
That was close.
Yeah.
Well, and that's always, God, I remember this all day. You used to talk about it when Nebraska would go out to Colorado. Oh, they got to use elevation. Get used to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if everyone's in the same boat, if everyone's playing 6 or 7 guys, everyone's going to have to get used to the elevation.
I get it. And I mentioned this on the selection show.
Thank you, Nick.
Jeremy Anderson, who's, the head of the strength and athletic performance, he will have a good plan in place.
Mm-hmm.
They monitor everything. And Mac usually follows everything he says to a T. So they will have a good plan. So it may not be a big deal, but it is something worth considering if it gets to that point where you're, again, this is a team that rides its starters 35 minutes plus per game.
But if everyone's doing that, then in theory, it should affect everyone equally, right?
Should. The way that people look at Creighton is so fascinating.
You talking about the outsiders again now?
The outsiders versus the people on the ground. Because let's face it, the people on the ground, it was all about the expectations. It was all about the Final Four. It was all about winning the Big East. And because they've come up short on a couple of those goals, and dare I say, there's a little bit of the air taken out of the sails. Still, and there's advantages to both. There's advantages to being here and close to it and seeing some of the flaws. We tend to look at things through a magnifying glass down here. We see it. Oh, there's a little flaw. There's a little speck. There's a crack. But when you look at it from a bigger picture view, you don't see as many of those flaws unless they're like glaring white out in the open, off court things or, injuries or other things that, stand out. Creighton doesn't have any of those.
You know what some of it can be too? Like I think of myself when I go into like the NFL playoffs, and maybe I'll have a particular team that I've been high on them all year long. And at a certain point in the year, they performed in a way where I should probably change my tune on them, but I'm still just kind of buying in that they'll turn it around. And maybe that's what some of these national people are doing with Creighton, where back in November, back in October, they were really high on them. And the advanced numbers say that they should still be high on them. And so they're going to go against maybe what their eyes told them because of how they felt. Like a random example, but I remember the 2014 Broncos, the year after they lost to the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. And they got off to a good start, and they were fading late. And I was just like, nah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They didn't. They lost right away. They lost to the Colts in the first playoff game they played in. And Peyton Manning didn't look very good. And it's like, in hindsight, it was all there for us. It was all there. And whatever happens with Creighton, I think you're going to be able to kind of fit your argument whichever way you want to go.
Oh,
if they go on a run, you'll be like, see, I told you.
See, all those
all
numbers
the
were
numbers.
Right.
Boom,
they
boom, 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 boom.
all right.
If they face plant, you're going to be like, You should have been
See?
paying attention.
Yeah.
You know, you should have been watching them. What were you doing? Why did you avoid all of these obvious pitfalls? And you know what's funny too is I'm seeing the same thing with Creighton fans. Like I know right now we're talking a lot about the national people because those are the people who are looking at their brackets. But I've heard from a handful of Creighton fans this week, and some are bullish. And then others are like, I'm nervous. After the way they played lately, I'm nervous.
Well, that's the other thing, too, that weighs on a fan perspective or a local perspective that maybe doesn't weigh on someone who's watching from afar.
You've rode the roller coaster.
History.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guarantee you, when people saw that name come up, Baylor was like, oh,
Isn't that crazy? That's a decade ago.
The
It was
first thing
so
they thought
long.
of was a decade ago, and they ruined Creighton's opportunity to move to the Sweet 16. They ended Doug McDermott's college career.
Yeah.
But they thought about that. It was like, oh, man, it's Baylor. Or they saw the 6-11 and they said, oh, crap, wasn't that what we had when we went to Sacramento? And then what happened? Got punked by Rhode Island. That's another thing that you absorb here.
Creighton
on the
fans,
local
don't be that dorky. 6-11, worrying about a 6 seed versus an 11 seed, that's a little too dorky for my taste.
Fans are dorky,
I
Josh.
know, but if you did the 5-12
Fans
thing, at least
are-
I'd understand it. 6-11, because you lost to Rhode Island once, who cares?
I mean, they're both dorky.
I know.
It's all
5-12 makes
dorky.
sense, though.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
It makes
5-12 happens all the time.
5 is 5 and 12 is 12. 6 is 6 is 11.
12 over 5 happens every year. 6-11 because of Rhode Island, you're a loser if you're complaining about that.
I don't know what you're talking about, but fans are like that. That's the way fans are.
Yeah.
And that's
Show
why
up.
you're probably hearing a lot more pessimism on one side, and on the other side, it's like, well, but you know. And it's funny because later on we'll have some numbers that will both show the good and the bad.
Mm-hmm. And again,
that's the best thing about the tournament. We have no idea what's going to happen.
That's why they're a 6 seed, because they've been inconsistent, you know?
That's right.
You're talking about a select few group of teams that are really, really good and that are, deserving of a 1, 2, or a 3. Because they've been the most consistent. Everything else, you can find flaws.
Well, we'll find out all together on Friday. 3 o'clock is tip-off time. 1 o'clock pregame. Ravi Lula will be starting our coverage. And don't forget, the entire tournament can be heard right here on 1620 The Zone, all the way through to the national championship.
And if you're a jerk and you don't want to listen to John and Nick on Friday, the other games will be on 1180 The Zone.
Or if you want to listen to Nick and John, but you can't get our signal, you can download the Varsity Network app.
Varsity app.
The Varsity Network app.
Do you have to pay for it?
No, it's free.
It's free.
It's free.
That's awesome. And you can listen to you?
Yes. The local broadcast will be made available this year, in addition to the Westwood One broadcast.
Yes. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
because in the past, we have not been allowed to stream. We're not allowed to stream from 1620thezone.com or the Zone mobile app. But this year, through the Varsity app, we are allowed to stream. So if you want to catch Nick and I and our call and try to, sync it with your TV, you can do that on the Varsity Network app.
Perfect.
And it is a good app. I use it a lot. I listened to a lot of college football on that list last
good.
year, walking Wrigley.
Oh.
Or washing my car.
Oh, gross. It's about to be car washing season. I bet you're excited.
Well, it should always be car washing season. You should always take care of your vehicle.
I know. You love doing it by hand.
You got to get under the undercarriage. Make sure it
Whether
doesn't rust.
you have a car, an SUV, or a truck, because it's truck season at Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley. And when we're talking trucks, we're talking the Chevy Silverado, a truck you're going to wash every football season while listening to random games on your app, the Varsity app. The Silverado is a tough truck. With the precision to help you on the job with Chevy Super Cruise Driver Assist, there's also available trailer side blind zone alert and automatic emergency braking. And right now, during truck season at Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley, you can experience the Woodhouse difference and save on the 2022 Silverado. Receive 0% APR for 36 months plus $1,000 cash allowance and no monthly payments for 90 days on the 2022 Chevy Silverado 1500. Or lease a 2022 Silverado 1500 for $479 a month for 36 months, 10,000 miles per year. See Woodhouse Chevy's entire selection of Silverados and schedule a test drive right now by going to woodhousegm.com. While they're on the website, you can value your trade. You can fill out the credit app. You can even chat with their knowledgeable, friendly staff. Go anywhere this year in a new Chevy Silverado and find new roads. To Woodhouse Chevy, just off I-29, exit 75 in Missouri Valley, or woodhousegm.com. With approved credit, see dealer for details. Expires 3/31/23.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley.
Now it gets me thinking, what else in life should have a pitch clock? Like when you have to check in with your wife on a phone call, shouldn't that have a pitch clock?
Yeah.
Like getting your kids ready to go to school in the morning.
Gosh, yeah.
Shouldn't that have a pitch clock?
Sorry, kid, pitch clock. All right.
What about like another thing in life that needs a pitch clock? You know when you're with your friends and you're at a bar and a story will start and it just goes on and on.
Just play
that. Shouldn't that have a pitch clock as well?
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Your Tuesday afternoon forecast will include mostly sunny skies with breezy conditions. I'm tracking a high of 48 degrees. For tonight, remaining clear with temperatures cooling into the mid-30s. Much milder for your Wednesday. Partly cloudy skies, a strong south breeze. Tracking a high of 62. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
What was it some famous football coach once said? Attitude isn't just one thing, it's the only thing. Here's an opportunity where your positive attitude can take your career to amazing places. Places like McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air and Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. Along with being a fantastic place to work, the benefits are top shelf and they'll even train the right individual. Click the career tab at mccarthys1hour.com. McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air and Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. Equal opportunity employer.
Peerless Energy Systems is Nebraska and Iowa's locally owned and operated authorized solar air compressor distributor. Peerless Energy Systems provides products and solutions for compressed air systems, helping companies in manufacturing, food processing, transportation, auto body repair, car dealers, and more. Driving industry efficiency through service, support, and relationships, let Peerless Energy Systems help you increase efficiency with your compressed air systems today. PeerlessEnergy.com.
One of the Nebraska Lottery's most explosively fun promotions is back. Cash Blast. Until April 18th, buy a 2x2 ticket, enter the voucher number, and you could win $5,000 or $500. If your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket or a multiple of 7 ticket, your prize is doubled. There will be 7 weekly drawings and 14 total winners in Cash Blast. So play today. You'll have a blast. But that goes without saying. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
Haven't played Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery in a while? It's easy, fun, and you could win a fortune. Visit your nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer. Pick 5 numbers between 1 and 69 and a Powerball number between 1 and 26. Or just ask the clerk for a quick pick. With the starting jackpot in the millions and drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, you'll soon remember why Powerball is Nebraska's favorite lotto game. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Homeowners have trusted Malarkey Shingles for years for beauty and long life. They've also trusted a local certified Malarkey Shingle residential contractor for years. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors. It's your roof. For the best, it's Carp's.
PACE, Police Athletics for Community Engagement Organization, is dedicated to preventing at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children from becoming involved in street gangs, crime, drug use, and victimization. PACE provides an opportunity to develop discipline, self-esteem, and positive moral values through wholesome competition and free participation in soccer, baseball, CrossFit, and flag football. To help PACE and local families make sure kids have access to safe and fun spring and summer activities, please go to paceomaha.org to support the PACE mission. Thank you.
Ready to revolutionize your home's look? Smash those outdated windows and upgrade with J-Tech Construction, the official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers. For a limited time, qualified buyers enjoy no payments and 0 interest for a year. Plus, receive a free triple paint upgrade. Trust the best in the business and see why so many homeowners choose us. Contact us now and take the first step toward a stunning home transformation. The official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction, your exterior experts.com.
Anti-Nazi. That's a good take.
I'm a very anti-Nazi. This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Well, getting fired up next week, Nebraska spring football. Counting down to the spring game, which at last check had 45,000 tickets pre-sold.
April 22nd.
April 22nd. Will spring actually be here by April 22nd?
Yes, it'll be here. Would you stop?
I'm not going to trust you.
Would you stop?
Not going to trust you. I will trust Brian Christopherson over you. Hello, BC.
How
How you
BC?
doing today?
Oh man, pressure. I'm trusted more than someone. I don't like that on my shoulders.
You got to give us a guarantee. Will spring officially be here on April 22nd? Will the weather be spring-like?
As long as it's not like that one year when it got thunderstormed out.
Yes.
And I was working at the newspaper at the time, and we had quite a bit of space set up, to cover the spring game for the next day. And I probably wrote 100 inches of copy about a practice that didn't take place that day. So as long as we avoid that, I'm fine.
Yeah, and the fact that Osborne got on the PA and said, well, we've got all this food. Didn't they give it? It was either half price or they gave away a lot of the food at the concession stand, didn't they?
Yeah, they did something like that. I didn't get in on that either. So it's really a sore subject we're bringing up now.
Yeah, it is. It is a sore subject. I remember that day very well because Jim Cantori showed up in Omaha. They were expecting the worst weather ever. And yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it rained, but it was never like, a massive outbreak of tornadoes or anything like that. And
oh yeah, there was Cantori was involved. I respect Jim Cantori, but I'm not like a part of his. I think he's got this massive fan club where if he is talking about your region, there are some people like lose their minds about it. It's he's like the Pope or something to him. So I respect that there are people that hold him in that regard, but I'm not in that club. I don't think.
Same.
Brian Christopherson of Husker 24/7 joining us today. So what kinds of questions do you think can get answered in the spring?
Oh man, I think that I was talking about this today about the secondary, and there's so many dudes back there, and just like sort of who's within the top, 6 to 8 guys back there. I think maybe you can at least sort of form that rough draft, which is a pretty important storyline because I think that's the one position group where when you talk about how does this roster get whittled down numbers wise, I sort of start in the secondary, and there's a lot of guys that we were kind of excited about as recruits, and some of them are pretty fresh here still, but they're going to have to prove themselves to a new staff. And there's guys like Omar Brown, who was a transfer people were excited about, and there's Jaleel Martin and Kobe Bretts, and just all these names of guys that Kane Williams, who came out of Alabama. I mean, it's guys like that I'm pretty interested in if somebody makes a move and sort of forces their way onto the scene. And then sort of maybe if there's some guys even within that group that are hybrid type players that they move around, because that's one thing with Rule's staff. When you look, he said it's sort of the magic ingredient they've had at previous stops of moving guys to different positions sometimes where they feel like they can be a better fit, and they're not afraid to do that. So I think that's going to be one of the things, is just on the lookout for if some guys pop up with different assignments than we sort of had them expected going in.
BC, along those lines, is there a player that you think with the new eyes on them, you think can finally break through, whatever that means for that player's career in particular?
There's guys, I was looking at the defensive line today because I was writing about Elijah Judy, and I'm really interested if guys like Ty Robinson and Stephon Wynn, even though they're kind of known names, if they can take it up a notch or two with new coaching. And then Nash Hutmacher's another guy like that. But if you look at the defensive line, for example, there's not a lot of returning guys with a ton of game snaps beyond the ones I mentioned. And that's where a guy like a transfer like Judy from, Texas A&M is a pretty important guy. And then there's a bunch of freshmen who will try to, some of them aren't here yet, but they'll try to make their way through the off season. But I'm just as interested in those guys, I guess, who have been in the program for 2 or 3 years, who reached a certain level with the previous staff, but you sort of wonder if there's something more in them. And that probably jumps out to me as much as anything. And then I think at linebacker, you're waiting to see if like somebody who sort of was behind the scenes a little bit, like a Randolph Kapai or somebody like that. I think he might have to keep putting on some weight. But a guy like that who we were pretty excited about 2 or 3 years ago as a recruit, there's a list of players like that you could name off where it's like, okay, it's kind of that time where you want to see him make a move no matter who the staff is. And so this was always a critical season for those guys in particular.
Brian Christopherson, Husker247.com. You wrote about Elijah Judy today. Of the transfers, given the lack of depth and ambiguity right now with the defensive line position, the 3-3-5, he almost comes across as one of the more important must-hit transfers on the team. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. And it was sort of what I was setting up in that last answer, because there isn't a lot of game experience. And Elijah doesn't have it either. He's actually only played like, I think, 21 snaps in his college career so far in his first 2 seasons. But he sort of has been changing weight. He came in as like a 240-pound guy who was more of an edge player when he arrived at Texas A&M 2 years ago. And now he's like 6'3", 300 pounds. So I think he's sort of been adapting to his body type, and maybe his role has shifted a little bit with what he's supposed to be at this level as far as a defensive lineman. So now it's, that is a big job, though. If he could be a guy who Terrence Nathan can get something out of right away, and there's a connection there, and they can make him a guy who can fit in the rotation, that helps out a lot because, a guy who left that was important for depth was Colton Feast. But he started off as a walk-on, but he played like more than 500 snaps last year. And so you're filling in for 500 snaps there. Devin Drew was a guy who gave, I think, 300 plus snaps. And so I kind of look at the pie and how you fill it with new guys. And Elijah Judy would be one of the first names you think about of players that arrive where you're like, it'd be nice if he could get a piece of that pie.
Do you think that Philly connection is pretty important in this as well? I mean, obviously he's from there, and he mentioned that in your story, how, hey, there's a Philly connection and we can talk to each other in a language we both understand.
Yeah, I think it definitely meant something during the recruitment of him, and this staff obviously is well based there from their time at Temple. And so I think that could be useful. I know he really hit it off with Terrence Nathan when they talked about sort of what his role here could be. And, Terrence Nathan, the fact that he played in the NFL, that's really appealing to guys. And I know that Elijah Judy mentioned that when he's talked to us in the past about, wanting to get to that next level and, being coached by a guy who's been there. And so it's good. He's got a lot of work ahead of him, but he is definitely, when you talk about the portal additions, he's one of the more interesting guys just because I do wonder about D-line depth a little bit, even though I know Tony White has a flexible defense where they can kind of bend it to their personnel. It's still a spot where you feel like in this league, you have to have, you got to have 6 to 8 guys. You feel like you can roll out there throughout the season. Otherwise, you're just not going to survive by late October or November.
BC, obviously, one of the biggest stories this offseason has been the wide receiver room, whether it's, the coach being so young and kind of all the discourse that surrounded that, but also the return of, a player in Isaiah Garcia Castaneda who missed most of last season, and then Xavier Betts who missed all of last season. Like, how big of a benefit do you think it ultimately is going to be for those two in the room as a whole that their coach is that age? That Garrett McGuire is that young, and maybe he's going to be able to relate to those guys better than, previous wide receiver coaches did.
Yeah, that might help. I think it helps Xavier and Isaiah Garcia Castaneda mostly that it's new for everybody with the new staff. So it's not like, I don't think whatever happened last season, we know this because Rule said it, is being held against them. So I think that's going to be pretty important, is that they feel like they do have a fresh start. They obviously have talent, and the door's wide open. I think Billy Kemp is probably the one guy I'd say I feel pretty confident about just from what we've heard from coaches and how he's already been a leader, and he's got such a resume from the stuff he did at Virginia, both as a receiver and a return man. So he's one guy I feel pretty good about entering that equation at wide receiver. But after that, I mean, Marcus Washington's a guy who has obviously experience, but, you know, he's got to prove himself to a new coach, just like Xavier and Isaiah do. So I think that's the biggest thing is in some cases, if you left the roster and you were returning to the same coaching staff, I think, you know, maybe some of those, whatever lingered from that might still be in the air, but I just don't think it's the case right now with those guys. So I think that's a real advantage for them.
You were monitoring the radio last night with Tony White being on the network talk show. Did it sound to you that Tony White maybe is downplaying this idea of the coaches needing to coach the coaches when it comes to just, you know, understanding the schemes? It seems like he feels like they have a pretty good idea. It's just getting the language tightened up between all of them.
Yeah, I think as long as they feel like they've got the right code words and stuff to communicate and everybody understands it, they're fine there. I think that can be overbuilt sometimes. I think that was a good catch by you. Sometimes we talk about, like, you know, coaches, like, are they going to understand how the other guy operates? There's been a few months to iron some stuff out, and obviously there's going to be things that are fluid and you figure out as you go how a certain person works on the practice field. But I think the thing that sticks out about Tony White from everything we've heard is he's a very open guy to new ideas or just hearing what everybody has to say. It's not like he, as it was said during the radio appearance, he was asked about being Professor White, you know, to a group of coaches. And I don't think that's happening. And I think the other guys are really eager to learn the way he does stuff too. And it's fun, I think, for football coaches when maybe a guy has a slightly different scheme than you've had in the past, and you're kind of adding that to your resume as far as stuff that you know, and that makes it you pretty useful in the future. So I don't think the language thing is going to be a huge problem when they get out there, because they've had some time to work on it.
They really need to lean into forget about Professor White. They just really need to lean into yo, Mr. White.
Are they breaking
science?
Are they Breaking Bad fans?
Yeah.
Those are the questions that we need answered about the players.
Exactly. I want Terrence Knighton to walk in and go, yo, Mr. White, science.
That could be a March 22nd question, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of space to fill, as you know, this time of year. So that's not beyond a question that could be asked and give you some copy.
Perfect.
And then instead of talking about the red Kool-Aid, we can talk about the blue magic.
There you go.
No red Kool-Aid, it's blue magic. Brian Christopherson, BC. We'll be looking forward to you and Shafe and Brunson, all the great coverage coming up in the spring of Husker football. And of course, they're always on the recruiting beat, so check them out. Husker 24/7 Sports. BC, appreciate it. Thanks.
Yep, thanks, guys.
You bet.
Thank you, BC. Jimmy on YouTube quoting says, a guy I feel good about. And then he adds, is this a recording? How many times can we hear the same stuff over and over? Have no fear. The spring game will return again.
Yes, the spring game will be back.
It'll be back later this spring.
I'm also glad that, Terrence Knighton gives us an opportunity to hear once again BC being very precise with his pronunciations and enunciations.
It's perfect.
Knighton.
Yeah, he's good.
He is the best.
Always nice talking to BC.
It is. It's good to catch up with him.
What a great pinch hitter.
Not that, we like Brunsey hitting in the cleanup spot.
Yeah, is Bruns okay?
He's just out of town.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Everyone's traveling.
Heck, maybe he's in Denver too. I mean, that
covering Creighton for Husker 24/7 Sports?
Maybe he wanted to go out there for the tournament.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Not knowing, of course, that, Nebraska's best basketball team was going to be out there. Well, speaking of best basketball, in addition to your brackets, you might want to check out FanDuel.
Yeah, John, you would love to check out FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/1620. Make every moment more all tournament long. Take your first shot at college hoops with the FanDuel Sportsbook. You can get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets, John, up to $200. That's right. Just bet $20 on the bracket and you will land $200 in bonus bets, whether you win or lose. And so often, of course, we're like, the 1 versus the 16, the 5 versus the 12. Creighton fans apparently are worried because it's the dreaded 6 versus 11 matchup. But don't forget to look at maybe some of those point spreads as well, not just stuff on the money line. And it begins tonight with a couple of games, including Mississippi State minus a 2.5 versus Pitt in a matchup of a couple of 11 seeds. Like I said, go to FanDuel.com/1620 and take advantage today.
Well, I've got my eye on a game tonight because former Creighton assistant Steve Lutz has Texas A&M Corpus Christi going up against SEMO, Southeast Missouri State. Take Corpus Christi minus the 3.5. Yeah, you can start betting tonight, and all you have to do is visit the FanDuel Sportsbook. Sign up today. Go to FanDuel.com/1620 and get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets up to $200. Make every moment more with the tournament and FanDuel. That promo code again, FanDuel.com/1620. 21 plus in President Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Let me get you up to speed on the service that you need.
Brian recently had us tow his all-wheel drive Mercedes from another shop. He was told it needed a new transmission for over $4,000. As it turned out, the reason he had no Ford was because his front CV axle was bad. We replaced the axle for a few $100 and he was back on the road.
Transmission, shifting to running smooth.
Time for an NCAA tournament schedule preview. March Madness is upon us with first 4 game action getting underway tonight and continuing on Wednesday from Dayton. Then on Thursday, 16 games, including number 1 seeds Houston, Kansas, and Alabama taking the floor, followed on Friday by the East Region number 1 seed Purdue joining the fray. Follow all the games and scores from across the country with Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the NCAA tournament right here.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh yeah, love the ding.
Right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingarone, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. 1 device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Dust. It's in the living room, the bedroom, and the bathroom. It's also in your lungs. Let's fix that, shall we? Duct Defense Midwest offers a comprehensive system that cleans, disinfects, filters, and purifies the air. They'll make your home healthier and improve the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com right now for a special air duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. cleanairradio.com.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it. For the third time since 2011, both Creighton men's and women's basketball teams made the NCAA tournament in the same season back-to-back years. It's a feat just 11 other schools can claim this season, with such notables as Arizona, Baylor, Gonzaga, Texas, and UCLA also on the list. For the Creighton women, the 6th seed in South Bend is the best in program history. Listen for coverage of both Creighton men's and women's basketball in the NCAA tournament on 1620 The Zone and 1180 The Zone.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Berry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Berry Law today. 402-999-7777.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
John, I put out a poll question in relation to our discussion with BC and how you don't trust me in my weather predictions.
Well, it's not just me, it's everyone.
Nebraska's spring game is on April 22nd. What type of weather will Lincoln have? 4 options: shorts weather and sunny, hoodie and jeans, break out the coats, or tornado sirens blaring. Vote now at Josh Tweederson. It's a very even vote so far.
The last option's not going to happen. I mean, typically
Whoa, put it on the list.
John Bishop, no tornadoes in April.
But no, and not that, but typically, because is it 11 or no, it's 1 o'clock. That's right. Toe meets leather at 1, doesn't it?
Toe meets leather.
The tornadic activity typically in this part of the country doesn't really fire up until like the late afternoon after you get the heating.
Oh,
of
that's
the
a
day.
Bo Pelini.
I didn't know you were a meteorologist, John.
He does have the JV
no,
weather
but I've
station.
lived here for my entire life. It's not a guarantee, but I would say that is the least of the likely possibilities.
That has the second least likely option. Break out the coats as the least votes, the fewest votes.
Well, it
break
depends.
out
It
the
depends.
coats.
Depends on what you mean by breaking out. The
I meant like the real heavy coats.
Oh,
The song I brought us back with, that bump, is called Sweater Weather.
it's gonna be hoodie
Sweater
weather. It's gonna be hoodie weather.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be gone, so don't have to care. I'll be in Pittsburgh.
Josh Peterson does not care about his friends and family back here.
No, my friends and family will be in Pittsburgh at a brother's wedding, so. Wow. Yeah, exactly. Don't care.
So yeah, so if the place
Smile, Tom.
if we get wiped out here, just remember. Well, you won't be able to remember it, but when Josh eventually meets you in hell, you can then
Hell, I'm not going there.
This is the worst. This is the
you
worst.
can remind him that he was the one that put this stink on us.
Joe texts in or tweets in. He did something. He says, should I call Unsportsmanlike Conduct to ask Josh and John for advice on going to Denver this weekend? I need people to help a family of 3 decide yes or no.
Oh, Grum advice.
Remember this is the guy he called a couple weeks ago about like doing something with his wife, my wife. Joe, if you're a Creighton fan, it's like 8 hours away. Hell yeah, you should go. Denver's a great time.
Yeah. Short
Oh,
trip.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Now, it's, as John mentioned earlier, it's the second most expensive or the third. Or
Well,
fourth?
the second most in terms of getting tickets, but you know,
You'll have a great time.
that doesn't mean if
There's
you're
mountains?
only going to the
John will take a picture with you if you see him. Right? Will you take a picture?
It'll
with
be like
Joe?
a buddy picture too,
sure.
where he'll like kind of grab you.
Oh, sure. John would do.
No, I'm not going to. I don't like grabbing people unless they want to be grabbed.
Yeah, Nick. John's not a grabber.
Well, it's like
you.
it's a buddy
unless
picture.
people want to be.
Who is he?
grabbed.
Mike Thompson?
buddy.
I was
Buddy.
trying to see if they have any, because I was looking, when I did the pricing comparison, because you can also buy just a specific session ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Just a sesh.
I'm not
A
seeing
session
any.
Denver.
I'm not seeing any just session tickets for the Creighton game, because Creighton and Baylor are playing the first session. Baylor's the first game of the day. Creighton's the second game of the day.
Mhm.
So they're the first session in Denver. But I'm not seeing any options on here for. Let's try the StubHub, if you will. and see. I'm guessing you can find. You don't have to buy tickets for every single solitary game. I'm sure someone out there will.
Oh, you can get in.
Yeah, here we go. Session 1. Uh-oh. It's got the fire emoji next to it, and it says, this event is selling fast.
Oh.
For session 1. And right now, he said a family of 4, right?
Family of 3.
Oh, family of 3.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's too late. I put in 4.
Yeah.
We'll try it again. Family of 3. That can be an odd number to buy for.
Sometimes people only want to have sex once.
Right now, you can get in for as little as $101 per ticket.
Holy moly. See, thank God it's not a family of 4. That'd be over $400
for the
Instead,
upper balcony.
It's only $300.
Yeah, the upper balcony, you can get in for as little as $101.
John says, so I guess we aren't friends of Josh's then? I won't be in Pittsburgh. Yeah, Nick did say my friends and family.
Tough
it's not
look,
my.
Josh.
You're right, John.
It's not your
John,
wedding yet.
No, that's true. Yeah, Nick, you hear this? Nick made a promo apparently with the engagement being announced. I've got multiple coworkers who've come up and be like, hey, I heard on the radio.
I figured it was okay because
I heard the promo.
It happened on the Grum.
I didn't say it wasn't, Nick. You're being very defensive.
Am I?
I think you might need to give us a quarter.
Uh-oh.
I was a little worried when I made it. I'm like, what if Josh doesn't like this? But
I haven't heard it yet, so I'll be the judge
Well,
later.
here's Joe. This is the advice guy.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, guys. So, John, we actually met on Sunday at the selection show watch party. So, I don't need a photo with you because I have the memories.
The memories is all that
Best
matters.
part about memories, Joe, is making them.
Yes, and I was really surprised that my son even came up and introduced himself. He's
Very
not
nice
like
young
that.
man, yes.
Yes, well, thank you. I appreciate it. So, funny story, and the reason why this all got brought up is because Coach Mack tweeted yesterday, something to the effect of Jay saying, who's coming to Denver with us, let's do this, something like that. And then my son, who has a Twitter account with no profile picture for safety reasons, he decided to tweet to Coach Mack and say, I would love to, but my dad won't take me, even though we had not spoken about it. So it was very passive aggressive, and so I've been mulling this over ever since.
Well, I mean, like Josh said, it's an easy drive out there through truly western Nebraska into Colorado, and the arena is close to downtown. The downtown area is now. I've not been to Denver in a very long time. I mean, we went to Boulder a couple years ago, but we never went into Denver proper. I've not been inside the city limits of Denver for a very long time. But I have been told
2 years ago.
That the downtown area there's a lot of stuff to do.
Tons of stuff to do, Joe.
Plus, on the day off, you go up into the mountains. And
I don't know if you're a beer guy, Joe. The brewery scene out there is
brewery
awesome.
scene is good.
Yeah.
Though his son is not old enough.
I love a one beer Friday, and sadly Nick never picked me, so it is what it is.
Jeez,
but
Nick. Sorry.
Last question: would you guys make your son, if you had one, Josh? Would you make them put part of the bill to go, or would you just treat them to it since he's 12?
Well, he's 12 years old. My parents didn't even make me pay for our vacation.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was like, hey, you want to buy a sweatshirt or something, then yeah, you take the kids would take their own money to buy their souvenirs, but everything else.
Do they get money for does he get money for doing chores?
Just birthdays, etc. So
Yeah.
we come from a broken home. Well, he comes from a broken home, so he has many family members that give him Christmas and birthday money.
There you go.
And my wife is one of 7 children, so all of her family gives him money. So he accumulates pretty quickly and actually doesn't clean up his clothes or really do anything to deserve being able to go on a trip like this. But it is what it is. So I appreciate the help nonetheless.
All right. Well, maybe we'll see you out there, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, maybe. Thanks,
all right.
guys.
Well, he's still mulling it.
Riley says it's so nice of John to volunteer to pay for this nice caller's ticket so he and his son can enjoy a trip they'll never forget together.
Super
John,
cool, John.
I
what
didn't say that.
a guy.
I didn't
What
say that.
a guy.
I didn't say that.
You're such a nice person.
I'm already busy enough. I'm calling a game, and now I'm apparently watching Jack's kid, who's going to be out there. I mean, there's a lot of burden on me here.
Babysitter John.
Oh, yeah.
You can make some scratch on the side,
The
John.
kid could be your sideline reporter.
This could be like
hey,
a
everyone,
fun comedy.
show up here in section 212, and we'll this will be the little babysitting corner. If the parents want to go have some fun while the kids, sit around and play, we'll have board games and, no video games. Nope, you're going to use your imagination.
No vidya? Oh, dang.
Maybe some Lincoln Logs and some Tinker Toys.
Mm.
And that's it.
What about Legos?
No, because I might step on the Legos and damn, does that hurt.
Ouchies.
That's bad news, man. You ever stepped on a Lego in the dark? Not fun.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it hurts.
It's not
horrible.
Fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, my daycare is only going to have Tinker Toys and Lincoln Logs. That's it. Well, coming up, Matt Carter's going to join us.
We'll talk about the game.
We'll talk about the game from a North Carolina State perspective. And does the Big Ten do itself no favors with its conference tournament? We'll discuss in a moment on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Zoom Drain Time Saving Traffic Center, got a stall blocking the left shoulder on eastbound I-80 at I Street, slowing things down through there. There's also a stall blocking the right shoulder on eastbound I-80 at 72nd. If you're north on Saddle Creek, expect delays between Leavenworth and Dodge. And then if you're west on Dodge, delays between 680 and 120th. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Fernando's Omaha.
Love Languages, presented by Fernando's. For spending quality time.
Let's go out and get tacos.
Come and feel the love at Fernando's, 75th and Pacific, 114th and Dodge, and FernandosOmaha.com.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Meet Joe A, hi. Joe B, hello, and Joe C. What's up? 3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
PACE, Police Athletics for Community Engagement Organization, is dedicated to preventing at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children from becoming involved in street gangs, crime, drug use, and victimization. Last year, PACE served over 5,000 area kids with wholesome competition and free participation in soccer, baseball, CrossFit, and flag football. To help PACE and local families make sure kids have access to safe and fun spring and summer activities, please go to paceomaha.org to support the PACE mission. Thank you.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is and has always been locally owned and operated. Now, with 160 employee owners, chances are one of us lives in your neighborhood. We take pride in taking care of you, our customers, and keeping you comfortable all year round. And as always, our technicians don't have sales quotas. When other companies send salespeople, Standard sends qualified technicians. It's just part of.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
No matter how dark it gets, there's always a sunrise, a warm bed, a warm meal, and hope. Sienna Francis House serves hope to those experiencing homelessness and addiction. Every day, we provide more than 1,000 meals and serve nearly 500 guests in our emergency shelter, Miracles Recovery Program, and supportive housing apartments, and help our guests navigate a path to permanent housing. Learn more at siennafrancis.org.
Tired of having a website that doesn't reflect the quality of your brand? At JM Online, we specialize in custom websites for unique business needs. Your website should be more than just a digital billboard. It should be a powerful tool that grows your business. Awarded Omaha's best web developers in 2023, we're dedicated to local business success. So if you're ready to take your website to the next level, go to jmonline.com and request a call.
Say goodbye to ordinary home shows. The Omaha Lifestyle and Home Expo features smart technology and thousands of dollars in giveaways like gas fireplaces, pellet smoker, and electronics. Lots of activities for the kids, including a St. Patrick's Day treasure hunt. Plus, catch all the NCAA tournament action in the new Expo Lounge. Free admission for veterans and active military. Made available by Rotor Mortuaries. This weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Omaha Lifestyle and Home Expo at the CHI Health Center. Presented by Cox Communications.
Woodhouse brings you the experts and insight to keep your vehicle road ready. From regular maintenance to larger issues, our team of service advisors and brand certified techs have the solutions to get you and your vehicle back on the road. Plus, you can enjoy convenience of scheduling online, amenities like pickup and delivery, and for quick fixes, comfortable lounges within our dealerships. Bringing you more every time since 1975. Service with Woodhouse.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Thank God this is the last day because...
Oh, wow, you're excited not to work tomorrow. God, you sound like a lazy Gen Z.
I'm going to be traveling tomorrow.
I thought you liked hanging out with Josh and I. I thought we were your home away from home.
I also have a bridge I'd like to sell you. Just
Oh.
kidding. No, I'm worried because the more I hear this, the more I think,
You're going to be like,
no,
yeah, Jay's lose.
That wolf pack's pretty cool. You're digging into my 90s vibe, Nick.
Vibes.
Or Vibes.
No, don't say that.
Or Vibes. We're going to have Matt Carter of the Wolf Packer coming up in just a little bit. But Tom Chattel wrote today about the Big Ten tournament and maybe its placement in the schedule and how that might have an impact on why the Big Ten has not been very successful in said tournament. You know, the Big Ten is the last of the conference tournaments to wrap up. The championship game ends right before the selection show begins.
Yeah, I got it. So when you teased this an hour ago, Chris in Montana texted in and says, it'll be interesting to see what you guys have to say about the scheduling of the Big Ten tournament being a disadvantage. Is there any proof that teams that play on Thursday and don't do as well as teams that play on Friday? I'm not sure what the angle is. So I think he thought that this was more about playing on a Thursday or a Friday in the NCAA tournament. But it's less about that and more that they finish on a Sunday. Right?
Right.
That's Tom's angle.
Right. That it's the last of the tournaments. He wrote, this is what Tom wrote. He said, the Big Ten tournament doesn't help. Take a team like Penn State. The Nittany Lions are on a roll, but they've also played 4 games in 4 days, including one that ended at 5 p.m. on Sunday. Now they have to turn around and play their first game on Thursday, coincidentally against the Texas A&M team that also played on Sunday, because A&M played against Alabama in the SEC title game, which ended a couple of hours earlier than the Big Ten championship game.
If Penn State bows out early, is it going to be because they played on Sunday or because they played 4 games in 4 days?
And the reason they played 4 games in 4 days is because they didn't finish in the top 4 in the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah. What's the difference between finishing at 5 o'clock Central Time or 3 o'clock Central Time?
See, I don't, and remember, it's basketball. I mean, typically a turnaround is
Sunday to Thursday is a very normal turnaround. Obviously, Sunday to Friday is an even more normal turnaround.
Right.
And Saturday to Thursday or Saturday to Friday, it's almost like a week off.
I mean, I don't think there's enough evidence to prove. Now, it just so happens because the Big Ten tournament's, 20 years old now? Is that right?
It? I thought it was more than that. Has it been around since the 90s?
They were famously the last major conference to have a conference tournament.
I know. For some reason, I thought that
maybe it is the 90s. For some reason, I've got it listed as more recent than that, but time flies.
Yeah.
2002.
Wow. Props to you. I apologize.
2002.
Wow, it's that.
Or no, I'm sorry, 1998.
All right, never mind. I don't apologize then. I rescind my apology.
But still,
I'm still older than it.
There you go. It's still not that old and all.
No, it's by far the youngest. And they won a national championship, Michigan State in 2000.
But that's not why. I mean, this
well,
is
no,
always
because if that were the case, Kansas would never win, and North Carolina would never win. I mean, the ACC tournament's the oldest of the major tournaments.
Yeah, and there used to be more tournaments that ended on Sunday. Like I remember growing up, it seemed like a lot of the tournaments ended on that last.
The old
Sunday.
Big 8 tournament used to end on.
I was gonna say, and then I think the Big 12 did for a while too, and then that eventually changed, and now it ends on a Saturday.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, the issue with the conference is less about that they play on a Sunday afternoon; it's that the teams haven't been good enough. And I do think that there is a lot to be said about the style that makes it so tough in the regular season, tough to survive, tough to get through. I mean, it's a good league for what it is during the regular season, but because of the one-off nature of the NCAA tournament, you get upsets. Like I feel like in college basketball would never do this. If it was like best of 3 or best of 5, if you could somehow do that, the Big Ten would have more champions in the last 20 years. Because I think that their style would, over the course of multiple games, I think would be a positive for the league.
Possibly.
But when it's a one and done and a team gets hot, and if you don't have the good shooters, then you're going to get knocked out. And I think that that's what's happened. I don't think it's because they're playing on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, we can pick this apart a little bit more a little bit later on. But right now, let's go to the Unsportsmanlike Conduct hotline and be joined by Matt Carter, who is covering the Wolfpack for the Wolfpacker, which is a member of the On3.com network. Matt, good afternoon.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing great.
Not bad. These teams, when you look at them, had very similar conference tournament experiences. Played great on one day, and then the next day, absolute garbage, get bounced in a blowout the next. How much of the Wolfpack's experience in Greensboro, how much did that mirror the season at large?
A little bit, with NC State, I think it was a Clemson problem, which is why you heard Clemson being compared to NC State a lot on Selection Sunday, because Clemson was just a really awful matchup for NC State, and they just owned NC State. And of all the teams they got in the ACC tournament, it happened to be Clemson. Yeah, I would say up until that point, NC State had been pretty consistent, and then they played Clemson twice in the last couple of weeks, and both times Clemson really put it to NC State.
Matt, we were talking earlier about Creighton and how some of the advanced numbers really like this team. And that if you just look at their seed line, but then you look at some of the analytics, you'd say, wow, this is a team that might be underseeded. Of course, they've, lost double-digit number of games, though. The eye test would perhaps tell a different story. Do you think that NC State feels like they are playing someone that is tougher than their seed is ahead of this tournament?
I think from just maybe taking the temperature of the fan base, and we talked to the basketball team, the head coach and Kevin Keith and the players yesterday. They didn't really know a ton about Creighton. They know they like to shoot a lot of 3-pointers. They like to get up and down the court. But I would say from the fan base, it's definitely that feeling that it was a team that was picked to win the Big East. They won 14 games in the Big East. And I think in general, fans are always kind of scared of teams that can really shoot 3-pointers, right? I mean, that always just scares everybody. And they just came off a game where Clemson made an incredible amount of threes against them. So they have recent memory in their mind. So, I think there's probably some of that among the fan base. Yeah, I do think they feel like this is a pretty tough draw with Creighton at 60. I think it's kind of interesting. I don't know how Creighton feels. I think a lot of people feel like if they get past Creighton, that Baylor might be there for the taking in the second round. But the hard part might be getting past Creighton.
Yeah, don't say that too loud. The folks in Waco will be perking up because I think you might be onto something there, Matt. Matt Carter of the Wolfpacker joining us. Let's talk about Terquavion Smith. He had an out-of-body shooting experience against Virginia Tech. Prior to that, though, he was just a 26% shooter from the perimeter in the 8 games that preceded the ACC tournament. Having watched him the entire season, do you get it? Do you sense from early on in a game where it's going to be one of those games positive or one of those games negative?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's not. He usually, sometimes he'll have a game where he'll miss his first 6 shots, and then he'll make 3 or 4 in a row, and you think, okay, he's heating it up, and then he'll miss the next 5. But generally, yeah, if he's hot early, it's going to be a good game. If he's not, it's a struggle for him. And you mentioned the last 8 games. It kind of goes back to they played in Chapel Hill against North Carolina. Took a really hard foul. He went to the basket, got clothesline, not on purpose, in midair. He fell. I don't know if he hit a nerve in his arm or what, but he ended up going numb in the arm. They took him off in a stretcher. They had his arm in an air cast. And he just did not shoot the same after that game. He was always a streaky shooter. So I don't know if there's a direct correlation to that. He had one good game after that, but for the most part, his shooting has been pretty off until the Virginia Tech game. And then he never shoots well against Clemson. For whatever reason, Clemson really has his number.
Matt, speaking of those Clemson games, you mentioned 0-3 this year. They lost the first one back at the turn of the new year, 78-64. The last two, though, a 25-point loss on the 25th of February, and then the 26-point loss 5 days ago. What went wrong most in those games? And I guess, could that be applicable to the matchup on Friday?
Yeah, and obviously Creighton's got the really talented big man. Clemson has a guy who's really good. His name's P.J. Hall. And he's a very versatile big guy. He's actually very strong, with a big body. But he can also he's really comfortable facing the basket and shooting three-pointers. And what that does is it drew DJ Bones out. And he's not comfortable defending. He's not really a good defender regardless, but he got drawn out onto the perimeter and involved in the pick and roll game, the pick and pop game, and that's a challenge for DJ Bones to defend. And because of injuries, he's really their most, he's the post player that's going to play 30 minutes. And that's really where the matchup really struggled. Plus, Clemson plays too big. They play the more traditional, old school lineup. NC State kind of has skinny power forwards. So they were able to really get physical in the post with the power forward while having T.J. Hall, their center, play out on the perimeter a little bit more. And it just created a lot of wide open three-point shots. And both occasions, they just shot lights out. So it was a combination of bad matchup and getting Clemson on a bad day.
Jarkel Joyner, the other fine scorer next to Smith in the backcourt. He's been a little more consistent, and especially here down the stretch. I mean, the last 8 games, I think he's got 4 games of 20 points or more. What is important about his game and what he provides to the Wolfpack?
Yeah, I actually, I had a vote on the panel for All ACC. I put him on first team All ACC. Jaquavion, the pro of the two, he's got the more upside. But Jarkel Joyner is really the guy that makes this team go, and he's extremely quick. He's very good at getting to the rim, and a little bit of a streaky shooter, but probably more reliable than maybe the numbers indicate. Shooting three-pointers, and an excellent on-the-ball defender. He's just really mature. I mean, this is his 6th year playing college basketball. He's a bit wiser. He's older. He's got more experience. He's an excellent leader. He was a transfer portal addition, and he was a godsend for Kevin Keith and that NC State program.
Matt, do you feel like we're going to see a high-scoring game on Friday?
Yeah, I think it depends on if the shots go in, right? I mean, NC State just as liable to go 4 for 25 from 3 or 12 for 25 from 3. But I think this is a game where both teams probably would prefer to shoot away. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong about Creighton, but I think both teams would rather just shoot away and see who's doing better. And, neither one of these teams get to the free throw line a lot. So I think it could be pretty free-flowing. NC State likes to full-court press. I think Creighton is a team that handles the basketball pretty well, so I'm not sure that's going to bother them too much. So if the three-pointers are falling, could be a lot of fun. I remember the two teams they met maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and it was a shootout.
Yes, it was in St. John's. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like 190 or something to that effect.
It was one of the. It was a pretty entertaining basketball game for quite a while. We're talking about Matt Carter of the Wolfpacker. There is an injury of note. Greg Gant, starting forward. He got injured a couple of games ago in the ACC tournament. How does his loss affect the team if he is not able to go, and if we heard anything more, if he is going to be able to go or not?
Yeah, game time decision. A lot of times I kind of roll my eyes at that and just think it's just coach speak. But from what I have been able to gather, it truly is a game time decision. He is improving, so they're just going to see where he is. He's not much at all offensively. He's pretty limited offensively, but he does give you great energy. He's tough. He defends really well. And he's a pretty good rebounder. They missed him against Clemson because, like I said, Clemson has that. They play was too big. And he would have been able to hold his own in the post a little bit better defending the power forward. So that's kind of what he's doing. He's a very good defensive rebounder, high energy, very tough type of player. Doesn't give you a whole lot offensively. So it won't impact. He started, but really the reason why he was starting was because Jack Clark got injured early in the season and missed about a month and a half. And it's one of those things where they kept winning. So you didn't want to mess with the starting lineup. But Jack Clark was the guy that really took the starting minutes once he got back in their full form.
Matt Carter of the Wolfpacker, covering Wolfpack sports for the On3 Network. Matt, we appreciate the preview. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Sure thing, anytime.
Thank you, Matt.
And Greg Gant is one of the few players that actually has played against Creighton before. He is a transfer from Providence. And during the COVID year, the year after COVID, the year where they didn't allow anyone in the arenas.
Yes.
He had a 9.5 rebound game against the Jays out in Providence. But to Matt's point, he is not a scorer. He is more of a physical guy, presence guy, rebound guy, kind of get the garbage stuff done and then let the guards do their thing. So that's the latest on the Wolfpack. I said that's the latest on the Wolfpack.
Wow. How you feeling about this game? Have you done your studies?
I'm still working on it. But
how are the vibes?
The vibes are, if the Jays turn it over like they did against Xavier, the vibes are going to be coming home early. They do need to take care of the basketball. But generally
you wouldn't
speaking,
have to prep for another game.
Generally speaking.
You're going to hang out with us sooner.
I'll be gone Monday.
Generally speaking.
Hang out with me.
When teams want to play up-tempo, Greg McDermott is just fine with that.
Yeah.
Think of it to be now. I don't want to make the direct comparison because it's probably not fair because they're different teams. But if there's a comparable team, at least in terms of style, a little bit of St. John's.
Yeah.
Play 94 feet, press, try to speed the game up. And it's going to come down to whether or not Smith and Joyner make shots. If they make shots, could be a very tough day.
Brett in Minnesota texts in 402-951-1620, and I wish I would have seen this sooner. Can you ask this guy to say that was the longest night of Andy Dufresne's life?
You thought he sounded like
a little Morgan Freeman action there?
He sounded like Morgan? I didn't think he.
I could hear that. I could hear that. By the way, we are burying the lead. Nick, we need a sports flash!
It was really that big a deal.
Hell yeah!
Unsportsmanlike Conduct Sports Flash Update. Sports Flash. From the Sports Flash Sports Desk.
The Dallas Cowboys. John, we're not talking about them in content today.
Oh, for Christ's
But they're
sake.
making moves. Stephon Gilmore, 5-time Pro Bowler.
Congratulations. You're
has
never
been-
going to play in a Super Bowl or an NFC championship game.
What?
What? Spot the lie.
He didn't get traded to the Rams,
Who's the
John.
last? Who's the
Boom
last?
roasted.
Who's the last defensive back for the Cowboys to play in a Super Bowl for them?
I don't know.
The answer is Larry Brown because he intercepted 2 passes that were thrown right to him. I still think Neil O'Donnell was paid to throw that game.
Hey, he threw it right to the Cowboys. This is a big time. I think this is good, right? This isn't bad. I think there's a catch. Eric Edholm's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. I'm going to be like, Eric, is there a catch to this?
Maybe
move?
it's mid.
I hope not. Nick.
We got all these Jets fans, all 3 of them, that are waiting
Sadly,
on
there's
pins
way
and
more
needles.
Jets
This is Aaron Rodgers
waiting
day,
on
Josh.
pins and needles to find out about Aaron Rodgers, and you're giving us some worthless Stephon Gilmore to the Cowboys news.
Worthless?
More like Stephon Gill snore.
No. What are you guys talking about?
Gilbore?
Good Lord. Also, Andy says, you didn't ask him if the altitude could affect NC State. Yeah, we forgot to ask him about the altitude.
Why are people making? I don't
know. People are very triggered by you mentioning the altitude thing.
Well,
because you didn't mention it with the other teams. Who were
Yeah,
playing the same
you only
amount of guys.
mentioned it with Creighton in the
hater
highest elevation in the country.
I was mentioning it in correlation to Creighton's thin bench.
Kyle says, yes, sports flash that baby. Woo-hoo. Nick, go to the Josh Wall and play the woo-hoo drop.
I'll just do this.
Woo-hoo.
Congratulations, Stephon Gilmore.
Don't play the boo-hoo drop unless we're talking about
Stephon
altitude.
Gilmore getting he wanted this trade so that he could know that he'll have the month of January and February off.
They play 2 games in January now, John.
Oh, that's right, because they pushed the regular season back.
Bingo!
But you'll get the rest of the winter off.
No, you won't.
Lots of time off.
No, you won't. I hope not, at least. Also, we had more responses about the Chattel column.
All right, well, more on that, and Eric Edholm to join us.
15 minutes on Stephon Gilmore. Eric, what do you think? The defense was good. Remember the defense?
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah, they were.
They were
Too bad
awesome.
Dak's like, hey, you want the ball on their team? Whee! And they're like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll take an interception. By the way, Dallas gave up a 5th-round pick in exchange for Gilmore. See, what's the catch here, John? I'm worried.
What's the catch?
He's mid.
Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch? Remember that movie?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what Jera is telling Steven right now.
I'd like to have a catch.
Yeah.
Would you like to throw that thing with my glory hole?
Did you see the video of him on the bus at the combine? Dude, he is not like
Oh, is it the party bus?
Not that bus.
The bus with all the lights and the
Not that bus. He doesn't look good. He doesn't look good.
He hasn't looked good for a long time.
I know, but his
all that
plastic
time
surgery,
traveling.
it's melting his face.
He's saying he's looking
I
like
want
the dude at
glory
the end
hole.
of Indiana Jones.
Yes, that's how he's gonna die.
It's the side effect of time traveling.
He's gonna,
Well,
It
he probably,
is, Nick.
you know what? He
Great point.
He probably was involved with the whole, Nazi thing and trying to get the
Wait, which
Ark of the
Na-
Covenant
Oh,
over.
that Nazi thing. Okay,
Yeah.
Over. The overhits. The overhits.
No, it's the under. The time is always set at 5:56.
No, it's a 250. Remember, we said it at 250.
Under always.
250.
All right, we'll be back with more in a moment on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everyone. Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. I had my first lesson of the spring today with Jonathan Melke, my first time working with him, and so incredibly impressed. I hadn't picked up a golf club, sad to say, at least in this manner, in a few months. And so step up, swing, going left. I'm a lefty out there when we're working, whether it's outside or inside, which we were today with that wind. And takes a step back. We watch some video, and that's one of the cool things that they do at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis when you're going through those instruction. There's video, so you can immediately see what you're doing wrong. He pointed one tiny thing out specifically that he wanted to see improvement. We practiced it. The next time I hit the ball, I added 30 yards to its flight, and it went right down the virtual fairway. And it was so impressive to see something like that. Not to mention the excitement that Jonathan Melke had when that swing went well. And the rest of them, well, most of the rest of them, because I am still me, they went a whole lot better. If you have those issues and you're like, I don't know what I am doing wrong out on the golf course, and you want to figure it out so you can get better and have a whole lot more fun, no better place to go than Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. Give them a call today, 402-498-0220. Visit their website, miraclehillgolf.com. Find out about instructions that you can get from Jonathan or Mike Favre as well. He was telling me, hey, as we get later on into the year, we will be doing on-course instruction. I cannot wait. They're located just north of Dodge on 120th Street, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
The Connor Happer Show.
Are you interested in any Queso Tomanagua? We're making a product out of it. It's water bottles, and it's Queso Tomanagua.
Queso Tomanagua Fina?
Exactly. You seem like you want to invest.
I think that you're onto something here that could take off.
We just need a retweet from Steph Curry.
Yeah, you could get stuff like whenever I'm thirsty, I grab a bottle of ice cold Queso Tomanagua. The commercials write themselves at this point.
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Your Tuesday afternoon forecast will include mostly sunny skies with breezy conditions. I'm tracking a high of 48 degrees. For tonight, remaining clear with temperatures cooling into the mid-30s. Much milder for your Wednesday. Partly cloudy skies, a strong south breeze. Tracking a high of 62. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Zoom Drain Time Saving Traffic Center, looks like a crash with injuries on northbound 88th at Blondo is causing delays. If you're north on Saddle Creek, some delays between Leavenworth and Dodge. Slight delay on 144th for both directions between 370 and I-80. And then if you're west on Dodge, a little bit of a delay between 680 and 120th. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Prairie Construction.
Are you or someone you know in the commercial construction business and your job's hit a dead end? Are you ready for a new job with a quality construction company? Well, maybe it's time to make that change, and Prairie Construction might be just right for you. Learn about us at prairie-construction.com.
Guys, let's face it, there is a time when you just need to get out of the house, to have your own place, to be with the guys, or just a quiet, relaxing place for yourself. Well, Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge hears you loud and clear. Settle in. Escape to Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge for an incredible selection plus premium cocktails, a knowledgeable, friendly staff, state-of-the-art humidor, and incredible lounge. Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 at 48th Street next to Covey's.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
At Murphy Tractor, we're committed to being your first choice when it comes to your compact and construction equipment needs. Each of our 29 locations has a diverse lineup of new, used, and rental equipment, along with a wide variety of parts inventory and experienced service technicians. Our field service capabilities will keep your machines moving and keep you on time. Let Murphy Tractor's John Deere equipment be your first choice. Give us a call at 855-246-9124 or visit us online at murphytractor.com.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it. For the third time since 2011, both Creighton men's and women's basketball teams made the NCAA tournament in the same season back-to-back years. It's a feat just 11 other schools can claim this season, with such notables as Arizona, Baylor, Gonzaga, Texas, and UCLA also on the list. For the Creighton women, the 6th seed in South Bend is the best in program history. Listen for coverage of both Creighton men's and women's basketball in the NCAA tournament on 1620 The Zone and 1180 The Zone.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Barry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Barry Law today. 402-999-7777.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. It's unsportsmanlike conduct.
That guy. Oh,
yeah.
man.
on 1620. The Zone.
More on today's news in the NFL that has nothing to do with
Stephon Gilmore, the news of the day. It's on TV.
That's Bo
You know what
Naylor.
else is on TV?
Sorry, we can't talk about
Canada-
the Rams.
Canada's leading. Well, we don't need to talk about the Rams.
Yeah,
They're tanking
I know.
this year.
Yeah. They're going to tank for like the
It's
next
a rebuilding
The good
year.
news is they're doing it on purpose. Dallas, they're actually not trying to tank, and it still looks like they're tanking.
They'll go to the playoffs. They go to the playoffs all the time now.
All the time now. 2 years in a row, all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Eric at home in just a few minutes, but more reaction to Tom Chattel wrote today that maybe the Big Ten tournament playing late into Sunday is a reason why the conference has not done well at the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and so Kenny says since the Michigan State title in 2000, the Big Ten has had 7 runners-up. Runners up.
Runners up.
The conference hasn't necessarily had problems getting to the championship. Winning it has been the problem. In that time period, by the way, he says Big 12 has had 6 teams in the national title, however, won 3 championships. Pac-12 had only been in the final game twice in that period and lost both. And so I think that's a real tremendous point, because if playing the last game was that big of a detriment, you wouldn't have all these Big Ten teams making the Final Four, 7 of them making the championship. I mean, you go through the list of the teams that have made it and lost. My guess is, John, you're going to find a lot of teams that were better than them in the championships. You know, I can think of a couple of North Carolina championships. You know, Wisconsin ran into Duke in 2015. But along the way, Wisconsin, for example, they beat undefeated Kentucky, the best team in college basketball that year. They beat them in the first round of the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
Did they lose that the next game then because they played in the Big Ten tournament, you know, that goes till Sunday? I don't know. I just don't think so. I think that the conference has had issues, you know, but it doesn't boil down to playing on Sunday.
Style certainly has been brought up before.
Yes.
But I also think because of its depth, I think one of the reasons why the Big Ten gets plaudits for being among, if not the best basketball conference in America, is its depth. Now, some of that is, you literally have 14 teams, so it's easy to have more depth. But there are more teams that truly take basketball seriously, which has been, let's face it, it's been kind of a problem up until recently with conferences like the SEC, right? Mm-hmm. The SEC, for the longest time, you had Kentucky, and then Florida would make a run, and that'd be about it.
Mm-hmm.
But now the SEC has, really stepped up its game recently in its basketball product. The Big Ten has always been there. It's been very consistent, year in, year out. You can only really think of one, quote unquote, bad Big Ten year, and that was
the year Nebraska was 4th?
The year Nebraska finished 4th.
And they didn't make the tournament.
And they didn't make the tournament because the Big Ten wasn't a great conference that year. But that was an outlier.
Yeah.
It's the depth and the quality of teams between 1 through 8, 1 through 10 that have made it good. But they typically haven't had that alpha team that is so much better than the rest of the field, like a Villanova was to the Big East, like Duke and North Carolina have been to the ACC,
like
another good
Kentucky
basketball
team,
conference,
you know?
like a Kentucky.
And it's
and
funny.
So, and so that's the thing in a lot of ways that the Big Ten is missing, is having that truly great team that, looks like a world beater. But to the emailer's point, they've been to a number of conference championship games. They've been well represented in the Final Four. I think sometimes they're a victim of a little bit of overhype because of its depth and just its lack of a superlative team at the top.
Well, look, we've debated this for years with like the SEC in football. Like, is it perceived to be good because they're playing each other for the majority of the season? And for a while, you could use bowl games as your argument. You could certainly use the high-end playoffs and championship games as your argument.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wanted to push back and say, they're only good because they play each other, you can really do that with the Big Ten, because so much of their strength is built off of the regular season and playing in conference games, and then they do go to the tournament and they falter. But, as we said earlier, I think the style works very well in the regular season. And I think if college basketball was a different format and it was played in best of 3 or best of 5 series, and they never would again because you'd have to really pare down the tournament, I think the conference would do very well because they'd have more than one chance and they could lose a game and then come back and, and match up with the team and beat them. But that's not how the NCAA tournament is. And so if you go up against a team who gets hot for one game, you lose.
Well, before we get to Eric Edholm, we need a sports flash.
Sports flash. Time for an unsportsmanlike conduct sports flash update. Sports flash. From the Sports Flash Sports Desk.
From Parker Gabriel, who covers the Denver Broncos. League source confirms a report by Mike Garafolo that the Broncos are going to make a signing of a running back.
Sports flash.
Samaje Perine.
Cool.
Sports flash.
Hey, he played for Cincinnati, a team who has been to the Super Bowl.
Sports flash.
In the last 2 years.
Sports flash.
Cool.
That's experience
Sports flash.
in the big game.
Good job, Broncos. Congratulations on Samaje Perine.
And they didn't have to give up anything for it. They just signed him.
Fifth rounder. Meanwhile, John, people are saying that Dallas now is the best secondary in the NFL, but congrats on the Perine. His name is P.
Let's Perine.
Yeah. Let's Perine.
Eric Edholm, I'm sure we'll spend the entire time on Samaje Perine.
Wrong.
Coming up. Oh, but this is rather important. James Bradbury returning to the Eagles, according to Shefty Shefty.
More pass interference penalties. Let's go. Holding. It was a holding call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James Bradbury returning on a 3-year, $38 million deal. So they got one of their defensive free agents back.
Good job, Eagles.
You're defending NFC East champion.
You're not first, you're last, baby.
Who also have been to a Super Bowl recently.
Thank God they lost.
Eric Edholm's next on 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Whether it's sitting at the top of a football stadium or all the way down courtside, if you are attending sporting events over the next few days, few weeks, months, years, you want to be able to see the action on the court, on the field, or on the ice, and Kugler Vision can help you do so. They have great savings going on all throughout the month of March, a part of their spring break spectacular LASIK savings. Visit their website, kuglervision.com, and find out more information. It is the only place in Nebraska that specializes in all 7 of the FDA-approved forms of modern vision correction. Look around the country. Not a whole lot of places like this in the country. This is the only one in the state, and we have it right here in Omaha. First step for you, no obligation consultation. You will meet with the doctor. You will find out which of those procedures you qualify for. They'll answer all of your questions, schedule that procedure, and then ditch the glasses, ditch the contacts for good. 402-558-2211 or visit them online at kuglervision.com.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
This March, why not take a shot at college hoops with a no-sweat bet on FanDuel Sportsbook? Now, it doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account. Right now, all customers can tip off the tourney with a no-sweat bet. Just sign in your FanDuel Sportsbook account and claim yours today. Or, you know what? If you're new to FanDuel, all you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/zone to get in on all the action.
You know, if you can bet on everything from the money line to the point spreads to the 5 versus 12 matchup that you've been eyeing, maybe look at teams like Oral Roberts, maybe Drake, all on a safe app that's secure and super easy to use. There's no better place to bet the tournament than FanDuel Sportsbook. Just go to FanDuel.com/zone to join now or sign into your FanDuel Sportsbook account to claim your no sweat bet today. Make every moment more with FanDuel. 21 plus and present in Iowa. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus bet $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Summer is almost here, and with 31 days in March, you can save $31 every month at Genesis Health Clubs. Ends Wednesday at midnight. If you don't get started on your fitness goals today, then when? Next week? Next year? Life's too short for that. Hi, I'm Rodney Stephen with Genesis Health Clubs, here all month giving you 31 reasons to get started toward your summer fitness goals now. Reason number 11, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Reason number 12, what seems impossible today will one day become your warm-up. Reason number 13, the extra mile is never crowded. Reason number 14, we don't judge you if you just show up and sometimes sit in the sauna or the hot tub. It's good for you. Reason number 15, you can't show up for your family without taking care of your health first. 31 days in March, 31 reasons to get started today, and $31 to save every month when you get started at Genesis Health Clubs. Ends Wednesday at midnight. There is no tomorrow for your health. Go to GenesisHealthClubs.com today to get started.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Do you like to shoot fireworks? Would you like to get paid to shoot fireworks? J&M Displays wants you. Help shoot an Omaha Storm Chasers game, Memorial Park display, or any of the major shows in Western Iowa and all of Nebraska. If you like to travel, J&M covers Nebraska, Kansas, and most of Missouri. They offer free training and great daily pay rates, which makes it a perfect part-time job. Visit jnmdisplays.com and click the Join Our Team tab to find out more. J&M Fireworks.
What was it some famous football coach once said? Attitude isn't just one thing, it's the only thing. Well, here's an opportunity where your positive attitude is going to take your career to amazing places. Meet Scott Wood, General Manager at McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air and Benjamin Franklin Plumbing.
People say all the time, I work for you. That's why I'm here, because I really enjoy how you take care of me, how you take care of my family. That is my job. My job is to take care of my employees first, my customers second. If I don't have good employees, I don't have a good organization. And I'm not going to last. The type of people that I'm looking for is people that are really motivated to take care of customers. If they always take care of the customer and do the right thing, I will always do what I can to take care of them.
Along with being a fantastic place to work, the benefits are top shelf, and they'll even train the right individual. Right now, McCarthy's 1 Hour and Benjamin Franklin Plumbing is looking for HVAC techs and plumbers. So work with a company that wants to work with you. Click the career tab at McCarthy's1hour.com. That's McCarthy's1hour.com. McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air and Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, equal opportunity employer.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
It's time to go on the Aaron Rodgers watch.
No.
Today we're finding out if he's holed up in another dark room or taking ayahuasca. It's got to be your bull. Is he a Jet yet? Eric Edholm, NFL.com, NFL Media. Is he a Jet yet?
Ayahuasca, Eurohuasca, who cares, man? You know, he'll end up in New York. Maybe he'll retire. Yeah, I mean, all the signs point to him ending up with the Jets. But the Jets are getting, I think, a taste of what comes with Aaron Rodgers, right? I mean, he gives them a list of, you know, here's my rider, right? You know, here's what I want backstage for the show. You know, Randall Cobb, Mercedes Lewis, any other mid-30s guys that will sign. You know, I mean, Alan Lazard will help them, but boy, I mean, a big money deal that they signed him to when they've, you know, already got pretty good receivers there. I mean, Garrett Wilson was Rookie of the Year, and Elijah Moore, you'd think he's been abused at this point. Maybe they don't like him. I don't know, but pretty interesting stuff. And, you know, again, it kind of lends us to believe that Rodgers will end up in New York. There really isn't another team that's publicly or, to my knowledge, privately made any kind of overtures. So basically retire or go to the Jets at this point, because the each day that passes, the likelihood of him going back to Green Bay seems lower.
What do you think is the holdup right now?
Well, getting the language and the numbers and the contract right is probably the biggest thing. I mean, it's got to be a rework deal to make it possible for him to be traded, because the Packers would take a big hit And the Jets don't want to be saddled with all of that. They want the Packers to take some of it as well. Now, that may affect compensation. The Jets say, fine, or the Packers say, fine, we'll do that, but you got to give us a little more, right? So it's tricky when you're negotiating with one team because, you know, the Jets could play poker here and say, no, we're not giving up that, right? Who else are you trading them to? We'll let you keep your mess if you want. Now, the risk is, you know, Derek Carr's signed with the Saints, Jimmy Garoppolo's signed. You know, the other pieces are starting to fall. It doesn't look like they want Zach Wilson as their quarterback next year. You know, Mike White is even gone. So, I mean, they're really options outside of Rodgers are pretty limited. It feels like this is almost like a prearranged marriage, and the two families are trying to figure out where the wedding's going to be.
Eric Edholm of NFL Media joining us. To me, the bigger burning question is, because it sounds like, you know, at some point this is going to go through. And if he is going to play again, it is going to be as a New York Jet. But is he properly motivated enough to do what he's going to be asked to do, and that is to immediately turn the Jets into a winner?
Right. And you know, pulled into a culture that he hasn't really been a part of. Daniel Hackett, I think, who will, look, for all the jokes you may make about him as Broncos coach, I think he's still respected in a lot of ways, certainly respected by Rodgers. And I think he and Rodgers have, you know, developed that relationship over time. There's a trust level that, you know, Aaron doesn't have with other people, but having him on staff is going to be important. But yeah, it's sort of meshing the offense to his needs, plus the talent that's on the roster right now. And becoming something of a leader. You know, who's the Jets sort of figurehead right now? Robert Saleh? I don't know. It's not like they don't have talent. We saw that last year. They one of the greatest draft classes in recent memory. You know, there's some young players who certainly have ability, but boy, I don't know who the face of the franchise is if it's not Rodgers. So obviously he's used to that fact, but it's in a huge market. He's going to be the center of attention. There's going to be so much scrutiny over what they do. And look, I'm not saying Packers fans haven't given him a hard time at times the last 2 years, but this is going to be a different level. And I don't know. I keep seeing all these alarm bells go off. And yeah, I'm reminded that we're talking about one of the 5 best quarterbacks of this generation, arguably any generation. And yet I'm still kind of wondering whether this is the right move at all for the Jets.
And you know, the other thing, Eric, that I wonder about with him too is if Tom Brady didn't like completely warp our brains on quarterbacks aging, like forget about, I guess, all the hard work that he puts into it, but just his ability to remain a good quarterback into his mid 40s. I mean, Peyton Manning fell off a cliff and he was 38 in his last year. So like Aaron Rodgers will be 40 later on in 2023. So there's like a part of me that wonders, you know, would we even be having this conversation if Tom Brady hadn't done what Tom Brady did?
It's a fair question. I mean, Tom was pretty great through most of his career. Maybe not Dan Marino great, but great at avoiding sacks as best he could. There were certain games, obviously, where, you know, he got taken down quite a bit. Rodgers would be in that group too. I mean, he's, you know, taken more over the last couple of years. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but not as sort of spry, elusive, or even, you know, having the trust in his receivers to make adjustments and get rid of the ball quicker. So, you know, there's an argument that maybe he's a little different than your typical guy that age, a quarterback that age. But, you know, at the same time, you can't help but wonder if that's not a factor too. It's not like Aaron's gone injury-free the last several years. Now, some of them have been, you know, thumbs and things like that, right? So you say to yourself, well, that's not necessarily a durability thing. But, you know, you think about the joints and ligaments and stuff, those age too, right? I mean, who's to say that's not part of it? So we're not simply talking soft tissue here. So I don't know. It's definitely a factor. The Jets' offensive line situation is not fully figured out. They have candidates for offensive tackle, but I don't know that they've fully invested or you know, put their chips forward on 2 of them as the clear-cut starters next year. So there's some figuring out to do up front too. And yeah, it's all part of the deal. There's just a lot of moving parts with this thing. And you worry about what rumored to be happening in Green Bay, which was, two different camps. There's the LaFleur camp, and then there's the Rodgers camp. And Rodgers was notoriously tough to get along with too. With young guys, building relationships, things like that. How did he and Garrett Wilson, who didn't get along with Zach Wilson very much, but still, how did those two get on the same page so that you can take last year's Rookie of the Year and make them even better in year two? I mean, there's so many factors here that can make this thing go wrong. But again, maybe an elite talent is exactly what they need, and this is a perfect fit. So who knows?
Eric Edholm of NFL Media. Did the Raiders just essentially trade their Derek Carr for a more attractive model car?
You could argue. I mean, it's a cheaper version, right? I mean,
yeah.
That's one part of it. And it was clear after a certain point. I mean, it was that maybe Carr and McDaniels weren't going to be a great match, but I didn't necessarily think it would go down the road it did. And yet it's hard to imagine, Josh McDaniels not wanting to have picked his own quarterback. And, he shops on a familiar street. He goes back to a guy that, that he brought along early in his career in Jimmy and found a way to, kind of change what he did in college, running sort of a Baylor style offense into what the Patriots did well, getting the most out of Jimmy in that limited role before he was moved on to San Francisco. And I think there's there's an admiration there. There's appreciation. And if you look what Jarrett Stidham did those last two starts of the year, especially the penultimate one, I mean, he looked terrific.
Yeah.
So I wonder if Josh saw that and said, obviously he could have kept Stidham, and he didn't, right? He went to Denver for pretty good backup money. But I wonder if he just thought to himself, yeah, this is me running my offense, the one that I want to run, not with the concessions or what Derek preferred and all that stuff, with a guy I know and trust. Now let's get a better, more experienced version of that. But I still think they have to draft a quarterback because, boy, I mean, with Jimmy's injury issues the last couple of years and a seeming, a ceiling to what he can do, I think. I mean, he doesn't win games for you by himself. He's sort of a game manager in a lot of ways. I mean, I believe they'll handpick a quarterback in this draft and groom him on the side. I don't know which quarterback that is, but I still think they're very much in the draft pool for that position.
Eric, the big news of the last hour is Stephon Gilmore.
Oh, get out!
Come on,
here.
let me ask one question about it.
Oh my
Gilmore to the Cowboys from the Colts. So I guess I'm worried that there's a catch with this move. They only had to give up the Cowboys a fifth rounder for it. He's 32. Like, why should I be concerned, and why should I be really, really happy?
Yeah, I mean, Stephon Gilmore's still a good cover corner. I think he's probably better in man than zone, but there's also, a couple teams now that have kind of moved on from him in the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So, you have to wonder if that's maybe part of it as well. But, I would say probably his salary too. I mean, I don't have the information right in front of me, but I would think that, he's still under contract for, I would say his cap number's in the $8, $9, $10 million range. And I think the Colts just didn't want to pay that. Happy to get the draft pick compensation back, go a little younger at that position. But, I mean, there were still a lot of teams that passed on him when he was a free agent a couple years ago. And, it only felt like a small pool of clubs that were truly interested. So there's always been, I shouldn't say there always been, but the last couple of years, I think there's been a kind of a limit to his appeal. The Patriots tried to trade him, and it just didn't feel like there were a lot of teams going after him. So I think it'll help. I think they need, more bodies and more guys who can play on the outside. But I don't think we're getting the 2014 version of Stephon Gilmore here.
Well, let's ask about a team that's actually lifted a Super Bowl trophy recently. But in all seriousness, Sean McVay knew what the Rams were going to be doing this season, or you'd think he would have a pretty good idea. So why did he come back when it looks like it's obvious the Rams are in a complete rebuild?
Yeah, I think he did some soul searching. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm giving him too much credit or buying into the narrative that he's kind of sold in some of these interviews. But, I mean, I think there's some real truth to it in the idea that, yeah, if he wanted to, he could become the next John Madden and leave coaching early and be this figurehead, right? And enjoy a life that, befits a young guy in California's style and all that stuff. But I think he would miss the game planning, the competition, the battle of wits that he does. I think there's still some demons in his head about losing that one Super Bowl, even though he's won one since. And, he's got a chance to be one of the great all-time coaches based on when he started, sort of this generation's Don Shula, if you will. I mean, that on some level has to be appealing to him. And I think he felt like, I can't string them along every year. That's just unfair to the organization. It's unfair to my owner, my GM, to the fans. This whole annual song and dance, it becomes sort of a joke after a while. Like, look, I get it. If he was seriously having thoughts about walking away after the Super Bowl, not a lot of guys would go to that place right away in the afterglow of a, life-changing event. But he did. He kind of hinted, or there were people hinting in his, support, saying that, look, this guy could walk away after winning the Super Bowl. He didn't. They came back. They struggled last year. I suspect, too, that he's going to have some maybe more say on shaping the roster. Now, Les Snead is obviously the GM and isn't going anywhere, but I wonder if he doesn't have a little bit more say over, some of the moves that he probably felt the Rams should have made but didn't, or the ones they did made and he wishes they did. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of layers to this thing, but you're right. This is a challenging spot where they're kind of like half contender, half rebuilding. No one really knows what they're going to be next year. It starts with the health of Matthew Stafford, and can they sort of put the band back together? I don't know.
Eric, before I let you go, I wonder where you're at now, a month and a half away from the draft, with the Anthony Richardson discussion, the buzz that's surrounding him. Some people are thinking he might even go number one. I don't think that that's the case. And I guess I understand it from the sense of great gifts, super athletic, and probably a little, Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts. Those were guys that we had questions about, and they have improved a whole lot in their short careers in the NFL. And yet I look at his numbers, 33% in that Florida State game, sub 50% in 4 others, and I just don't see it. Where are you at with him?
Yeah, he's a tools-based, exciting, athletic, dual-threat quarterback who has yet to kind of hit his stride or his peak. Part of it is because of experience. He's only had 13 starts in college. I think he's had fewer than 400 passes thrown. I think his development, you can certainly question as far as how they used him. They started Emory Jones over him in, 2021, I guess. Now, I liked Emory at one point. I mean, I sort of understood that. Richardson was viewed as the more raw prospect. But, now it's pretty obvious for those looking in the outside in that Richardson was the better talent. I wonder if there wasn't a little bit of a we need to win mentality and Emory gives us the best chance. I mean, look, that same conversation happened with is it Marquise Williams, who started for 2 years over Mitch Trubisky at North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a guy who spent 8 minutes in Packers camp and is not in the NFL any longer kept that guy on the bench. I mean, that should be part of the evaluation. So I'm not saying it's a Trubisky 2.0 thing, because I think he's more physically blessed with way more upside, but still you have to wonder a little bit. The other side of the coin is that we could be looking at a Cam Newton style quarterback. I mean, he's not quite as big as Cam, but he's got the same sort of physical build, big broad chested kid, huge shoulders, incredible throwing arm, distance, or running speed to outpace linebackers and things like that. So there's a lot of exciting elements to his game, but it's consistency. And that's the biggest thing. I think the team that drafts him has to have a great plan as far as not rushing him into the lineup, but also at the same time, making sure that he gets enough reps to potentially start as a rookie down the stretch.
Well, Eric, we found out during our segment that Aaron Rodgers will be on the Pat McAfee show tomorrow at noon Central, 1 o'clock.
Oh, man. How about that? I mean, is that not a ratings boost for them or what?
Mm-hmm.
Or are people sick of it?
That would be where I am.
Yeah.
I like McAfee, but I don't think I'll be listening.
I get you. I hear you.
Eric, take care. Thanks for the time.
All right. Looking forward to seeing you.
You bet.
Thanks,
Eric
Eric.
Edholm of NFL Media.
So here's the thing. He's either going to give us the news and it'll be over, or they're going to play this string out and it's just going to be, a bunch of, a lot of people are talking about you, and then they'll never even get into it. I would guess that we'll know But it would not surprise me if they go through the whole song and dance and we leave that interview and we still don't know where Aaron Rodgers is going, what he's doing, what's going to happen.
If
I'm not going to be watching either.
If
it'll be on Twitter.
If there is an announcement, yeah, it'll be released on Twitter.
Yeah.
Someone will break the news, and then McAfee will be the first interview that he does.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't hear anything about it before the McAfee interview, he's just going to dance and dog and pony show around.
Yeah.
This week's Zone Deals for Cobb's Pizza. This is not a bait and switch.
We had cops today at work
for our meeting.
Yeah, it was great.
Did you have the pizza?
Oh, yeah.
And salad?
And you had the salad?
I just went with pizza.
Did they get the wings?
No way.
They did not
well,
get the wings.
you can get the tasty charred wings if you get the zone deal for Cops. Well, you still go to Cops without the zone deal, but the zone deal makes it more affordable because you get $50 worth of vouchers for only $25 for dine-in, carry-out, or delivery from Cops. So check it out. The food ones always go fast.
Oh, yeah.
So make sure you are at 1620thezone.com by 9 a.m. 1620thezone.com.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Zoom Drain Time-Saving Traffic Center, looks like we've got a crash on the northbound JFK at Fairview. Also delays on 144th for both directions between 370 and I-80. If you're north on Saddle Creek, slow going between Leavenworth and Dodge, and then delays on westbound Dodge between 680 and 120th. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Luss Hills Harley-Davidson.
Riding season is here, and it's time to trade in and trade up. Or, if you ain't riding it, Luss Hills Harley-Davidson is buying it. Sell your Harley-Davidson today. Luss Hills Harley-Davidson. Rise up and ride on.
You can find pizza anywhere. But when you want pizza pie piled high with more toppings, that's when you come to my place, Godfather's Pizza. For a limited time, get your hands on 2 of my large one-topping pizzas. Pick pepperoni, beef, black olives, you choose. All this food for only $29. Feed your whole mob without breaking the bank. Hey, it's an offer you can't refuse. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
PACE, Police Athletics for Community Engagement Organization, is dedicated to preventing at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children from becoming involved in street gangs, crime, drug use, and victimization. PACE provides an opportunity to develop discipline, self-esteem, and positive moral values through wholesome competition and free participation in soccer, baseball, CrossFit, and flag football. To help PACE and local families make sure kids have access to safe and fun spring and summer activities, please go to paceomaha.org to support the PACE mission. Thank you.
Many people go back to the dealership out of habit or because they think the dealer is the only one who knows how to fix their car. At Omaha Car Care, we offer a better option. We have ASE certified technicians, the technology to service any vehicle, and free loaner cars. The dealer will sell you a package of services. We'll provide the service you want for your car as your trusted partner. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Businesses of Omaha, settling for a website that looks like it's stuck in the early 2000s? Then it's time to level up with JM Online. Our local team builds custom websites that solve unique business needs. We're not your typical web design company. We're your partners in online success. Ready to take your website to the next level? Go to jmonline.com and request an initial call.
College basketball is in full swing and gearing up for the college basketball tournament. Watch it all season long at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill. Of course, Oscar's serves great pizza, but don't forget about their award-winning charred buff wings or even their delicious fish and chips. Perfect for Friday nights. Dine in
or carryout at 173rd and West Center. Carryout at 162nd and Maple, and order online at oscarsomaha.com.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. I have been saying it throughout the last few weeks. They are changing the way that they do golf instruction at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. One of the changes, on-course instruction. If you want to find out more information and learn from Mike Faber and Jonathan Melke, find your best golf swing, give them a call today at 402-498-0220. They're located just north of Dodge on 120th Street, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
It'd be nice to have a pro
throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
throw.
from your mom.
The Dallas Cowboys landed
The
some
happy
vodka.
hour's on the air.
I figured you wanted me to celebrate a little bit more. John, did you see this video? What a cool video. Parsons, Diggs, they wanted to swap jerseys with him after the game in December. And they were like, you're such a good player. You don't deserve to be on the Colts.
You know what? The
Colts.
They can't swap amongst each other. Super Bowl rings.
Wow.
He's not wrong.
Nick, shut up. I didn't ask you for
Remember how
takes.
depressed Josh was about a month and a half ago?
Yeah, that
after
was
the
bad.
Frisco game, and now all of a sudden he's like,
They have Gilmore.
yeah, Gilmore.
Don't worry.
Well, it ain't Happy Gilmore.
They'll let me. That's true.
It
They'll
ain't
let me
Happy
down. Don't worry. I'll be sad again in like a year.
Well, friends, it is that beloved time of year where you have to ask yourself, where is True TV? I believe
that's the bit that's going to be back all week long, isn't it?
203 if you have the Cox.
Oh, I do.
203.
Congrats on the cable.
Oh, is it the tip-off show?
It's time for the tip-off show. Or if you're not someone who's used to looking at, channel numbers anymore, just look for the channel that always has Impractical Jokers.
Yes, and you'll find it.
And then you just click the enter button and it just goes to that.
When they did this agreement over a decade ago, CBS, TBS, TNT.
Very funny.
Why not CBS Sports Network? I will never.
Great question.
I will never
because if there was
understand
ever a time for CBS to put some actual muscle behind that network, and it's strange too because obviously ESPN is the OG. Fox came
31.
along. 10 years ago to try to, CBS has been around the longest of the competitors.
Yeah.
NBC blew up theirs. They just said, yeah, NBCSN, we can't do this anymore. So they gave up.
I miss NBC Sports Network.
But CBS Sports Network has been around for a long time. It used to be
College Sports TV.
College Sports TV.
Yeah.
When Trev Alberts was an analyst on College Sports
But they
TV.
have lots of games. They have college basketball.
Yeah.
They have it's G5, but they have a ton of college
Well,
football.
they have spillover Big East games.
They have spillover Big East games. That's right.
They have spillover Big East games.
Now,
too.
True TV is a member of the TBS Turner family. So that's probably what. But I would think if I am CBS and this was a big deal, this contract was a big deal, I would insist that we have some games on CBS Sports Network.
Yeah.
Because that's a way to prop that network up and actually make it viable.
Yes, exactly.
True TV also just seems like a weird fit. If you're somebody
it's a very
who
weird fit,
doesn't pay attention or watch this, and you just use it for Impractical Jokers,
And that's what
Or
college
cops.
basketball fans, the Venn diagram, it's like the tiniest of slivers.
Yes.
Of people who watch both all year long.
like hell yeah, I can watch live body cam police footage and then basketball.
Well, if you have the Cox, 203
Boom, there
is
you go.
True TV, and you can watch the
They're all clapping.
the SEMO Texas A&M Corpus Christi game. Go
And it starts at
Islanders.
5:30.
5:40, I believe.
5:40.
So there you go. The pregame has begun. The madness is official.
Every game.
Speaking of the madness, of course, this is the time where, people start doing the office pools and filling out the brackets. The wife.
My
wife. Said that she sent me an email and said, "Is this unusual?" Apparently, they're not doing a bracket contest at her place of work. Instead, the organizer printed off all the list of the teams in the tournament, minus the 15 and the 16 seeds, and everyone just comes in and draws a name out of a hat.
Okay.
And that's the team they get for the whole tournament.
You get a prize?
Yeah, if your team wins, you get a prize.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. But
You'd rather do that than a bracket?
I do both. Why not
It
both?
sounds like a fun separate activity.
No, I don't think this is a separate activity. I think this is
the only
This is their only activity. They're not going to have them fill out brackets.
So yesterday when I came in, I was actually planning on just not doing a bracket this year.
Why?
I just don't care. But then I was like, but we have 1620thezone.com. What?
Fill out your bracket on
Jeez.
1620thezone.com.
Josh,
But then
not
I
going to be
remembered-
football for 5 or 6 more months.
No, I just, how much
You got to
national-
participate in the rest of our in our world. You're just going to close up at shop for 6 months?
No, what are you going to do? A baseball bracket all summer long? What?
Well, no, you don't do baseball brackets, but everyone does a bracket.
Well, I wasn't going to. But then I remembered we have a great one at 1620thezone.com.
Where
And
you
I
can
decided
win Connor's cord.
You can win Connor's cord and other various prizes. But I decided I should do it because that sounds really fun. I just, how many
Oh, it sounds really fun, and you weren't going to do
I
it.
didn't watch a lot of national college basketball this year. I don't have any takes.
Most
But I
people
did-
didn't watch college
Yeah,
basketball
yeah.
this year, and they still participated in a bracket.
I don't know how many
You
people.
work on a sports station. You cover college basketball.
I cover
You know,
Nebraska and Creighton.
That's enough.
Yeah.
That's more than most people do who fill out brackets.
That's true. That's true. So I did one, though. Why are you accosting me? I filled out a bracket.
Because you were, I really wasn't going to do.
Now, where's your bracket, John?
I already did one. I did one online. That's my placeholder. But tonight, I'm really going to dive in.
Placeholder.
Well, in case I can't get to it, at least it's a placeholder. It's just like an initial.
Okay.
It's an initial model.
It's the
And I'm
draft.
going to scrub it. I'm going to scrub the bracket.
it.
And then I'm
Clean
going to
it,
clean it off, make it real nice and pretty. And then I'm going to fill it in for real. And then I'm going to duplicate it over to the others and see if I can win a new Lexus or a vacation to Disney World or whatever they're giving away this year on ESPN. No, that's where I had my placeholder bracket.
Jeez.
That's where my placeholder bracket
Other
is.
brands. Gross.
Of course I can. I want to win.
That's true. You can't
It's
win on
fun.
1620thezone.com.
It's fun.
You're an employee.
That's
And the reason why I'm going to scrub it and clean it all off because friend of the program, Brian, sent us an email last night.
Hello, Brian.
He sent us, it is called the March Madness Bracket Guide from Veasan, which is the Vegas Information and Sports Network.
Oh,
This is Brent Messburger's network.
Oh, huge fan.
Yeah. And there's some really interesting stuff here. This is a betting guide for the tournament. And it was put together by
Brent Musburger?
No, not by Brent.
Rats.
But Brent's bracket is here.
I bet it's awesome.
No, it's not.
You're looking live.
Because he picks Creighton to lose in the first round. So he's a scumbag.
Scumbag.
And a
Like,
drunk.
Brent must be kidding me.
And
John!
a drunk.
John.
Openly flaunting our laws by holding open carry containers in his limousine.
Oh, man. Can you believe that? Somebody riding in a limo drinking.
That's
Wow.
right. Open carry. You can't do that.
Who knew?
But it's broken down, and it's got some great statistics in here. But it is broken down. There's a category for potential upset victims, for potential Cinderellas, for potential Final Four qualifiers, and potential national
Oh, you
championships.
see Wes Reynolds has Creighton in the Final Four?
Well, Creighton kind of factors in interestingly in this. So the first thing I'm going to look at is the teams on upset alert. And how this is broken down is that they have identified 17 different criteria that are met. And they go back the last 10 years of tournaments. And he uses an 80 percentile cutoff to eliminate some of the flukier teams. But of the last 52 upset victims who were seeded 6th or better, of the last 52, 80% of them met these different statistical qualifiers.
So they fit into a specific bucket.
Correct.
Okay.
And for each one, there's 17 different metrics. Like, for example, I'm not going to list them all, obviously.
Yeah.
But Veasan's got their own little power ranking. They've got strength of schedule rankings. They got offensive points rankings, offensive field goal percentage, all this different stuff. And they identified different metrics that all of these common teams face as upset victim qualifiers. Kansas State and San Diego State hit all 17 of the metrics. Kentucky and TCU hit 16 of the 17. Now, this isn't a guarantee that they're going to get upset.
But
he's just saying that
they fit into a
upset
bucket.
Victims of the last 10 years have been in the 80th percentile of hitting these markers. Okay. Kentucky and TCU hit 16 out of the 17. Indiana, Duke, Miami, and I wish we had the dramatic organ music.
Oh, yeah.
Creighton hit 15 of the 17.
Mm.
And it goes on down through the list. And then there is a category for, there you go, spooky organ. That's not the right one.
That one?
Sure, why not? Then he's got a category for potential Cinderella qualifiers. Again, this is the gambling guide from Veasan. And it's got 17 different categories.
Okay.
Utah State as a potential Cinderella. And Cinderella is defined as teams seeded 7th or worse who won at least 2 games. So they became second weekend teams.
Mm-hmm.
That defines
So
a
it's not
Cinderella.
just an upset in the first round.
Right. This is Cinderella teams that could go more than the first weekend.
Yeah.
Utah State hit 16 of the 17.
By the way, they opened with Missouri. It's one of the first games of the whole tournament this weekend on Thursday.
And then several teams hit 15 of the 17, including USC, FAU, Auburn, Illinois, Memphis, Maryland, Michigan State, and hit the spooky music.
I didn't have it ready.
NC State.
Oh, no!
So what I did, was compared the full list of Cinderella qualifiers with the full list of what I call the upsetables.
Oh, what's the other one, Nick?
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that one. Save that. Put that on a button bar. Not the whole
That
thing.
one sucks.
Just the 6 second long one. What's the 6 second one?
Oh.
No, that one.
Yeah.
That one. It's got to be your bull.
Yeah, we like that one.
Yes. I like that better than the dun dun dun. All right, put that on a button bar.
Okay.
Good job, Nick.
So what I did was I compared the Cinderella category with the upsetables category. And here's what I
Trying
came
to
up.
kind of find
I
some
combined
overlap, right?
I combined the number of benchmarks that they hit.
Okay.
Here are 4 games to watch for this weekend. Drake over Miami.
Oh, you just want Drake to win.
Listen to me. Drake over Miami. 28 of a possible 34 of the benchmarks. Providence.
Never mind, Nick. Thanks.
Providence over Kentucky. 29 of the possible 34 benchmarks. And the 2 games that had 30 of the possible 34 benchmarks. Charleston over San Diego State.
And
NC State over Creighton.
Oh, John's coming home early.
Damn it!
It is a little spooky.
But I'm a bad news first type guy. I have good news.
Oh, the good news, boys.
Jays fans. Because, as I also mentioned, the Veasan Guide also does 17 different benchmarks that Final Four qualifiers have hit.
Oh.
And again, going back the last 10 NCAA tournaments, of the last 36 Final Four teams, 80% of them hit these benchmarks and had the highest benchmarks. And for example, 2021, Gonzaga, Baylor, Houston, all finished in the top 6 on this chart of hitting the benchmark.
Is it top 6 across all of these things?
Yes. Top 6 on this chart.
Okay.
Top 6.
Well, Nick, the things are sideways. I have to.
You don't have to look sideways.
Yes, I do.
No, you just need to read down. You just need to read down
Turn your
from top to
laptop. Yeah,
bottom.
that seems way better and easier.
Well, you could also read the side where he's got them bullet point bobbed for you on the left side.
Oh.
Last year, Villanova had 16 of the 17. They made the Final Four.
Okay.
Kansas had 15 of the 17. They made the Final Four. Duke, 12 of the 17. Okay? So, of the teams that are the best in terms of potential Final Four qualifiers, coming in at number 1, all 17 of the benchmarks, UCLA. Coming, not yet.
NC State's number 2?
Tied for second with 16 of the 17 benchmarks for potential Final Four qualifiers. Kansas, Houston, UConn, and
NC State?
Creighton.
Oh.
See, I told you I'm a good news second guy.
Wow.
Purdue and Texas hit 15 of the 17 benchmarks. Arizona, Gonzaga, Indiana, Tennessee hit 13 of the 17 benchmarks. So while Creighton is on one end of the extreme, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about with Matt Carter, right? The thought is this might be the toughest for the first game because everyone thinks Baylor's going to be beatable, and I don't know if that's necessarily true, but still, it's interesting, right? So now we move on to potential national champions. And the statistic on the potential national champions. Virginia, who won it in 2019, they hit 15 of the 17 qualifying marks.
Okay.
They were second in the field. They were second on this list.
Okay.
Baylor in 2021 was third on the list. They hit 13 of the 17
So this is kind of like the
qualifiers.
Ken Palm, like you got to be
Kind
in
of.
the X and the
Yep.
Y. Okay.
In 2022, last year, Kansas had 11. Now they were seventh on the overall list of all the teams in the tournament, but they still hit 11 of the marks. So this year, the teams that are most championship worthy, tied for first with 14 of the 17 statistical markers. UConn, Houston, and Texas.
Oh, Nick, you could have played it for those. I don't want UConn winning a title. That would suck.
Bark.
Tie are alone in fourth place with 12 is UCLA.
Okay.
Alabama and Gonzaga hit 10.
Go Zags.
But at number 9, tied for ninth with 8 out of the 17 markers.
Florida Atlantic.
And the Creighton Blue Jays.
Wow.
So on one
Hello.
extreme, they could be on high upset alert,
or they could win
on
the whole
Friday,
damn thing.
or they could make the Final Four.
Well, it's kind of like what we talked about earlier with Matt Carter, who covers NC State, where he was like, yeah, they might lose this in the first game to Creighton, but if they win, they could beat Baylor. There you go. Creighton could lose or they could win the whole thing, says John Bishop and Vegas people.
By the way, if you're wondering, going back to the Final Four one, because Creighton hit 16 of the 17 markers, which is really, really good.
Yeah.
But of those Final Four teams, some of the categories, I'll just read some of them.
Oh, now you're looking sideways.
I am having to look sideways because they have a picture of Jaime Jaquez of UCLA on the side.
Jaime.
Yeah.
Brendan Hymus.
Having an assist to turnover ratio in the top 90, offensive turnover percentage in the top 150.
Man, these are some nerdy stats.
Oh, yeah, it's very nerdy stuff.
Oh, well, if you actually look at the field goal percentage in the first half,
But
of
the fact
last
that
4 minutes, and you're in the
that-
top 38.
The fact that these are all things that are common among Cinderella teams, upsettable teams, Final Four teams, championship teams. The fact that the ones that finish in the top of the list have the best chance of winning and tend to be there. Yeah, no, it just gives you a good guide.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to be using this as my guide to scrub and clean my
all night
bracket.
you'll be putting together your bracket. And you're gonna have to turn your computer sideways.
No. I'm just going to look at how many markers.
Get a vertical monitor.
Yeah, get a vertical monitor, John, as Nick says.
No, I'm going to hit him sideways. So there you go.
Wow,
it kind of doesn't it show though the extremes of Creighton, right?
It does. It does. And it
Where
shows
a lot
why...
of people like them to go deep because hey, they got a talented team, they got a great starting five, they got great computer marks, but then on the other side, inconsistent.
Now,
one day they might turn it over eight times. The next day they might turn over 15 times.
Jake says, "Where's this list? ... Link. Is this available for public consumption?"
I don't know, but a friend of the Grum, who did I say it was again? Brian sent this to us in a PDF.
Yeah, so
it's
I don't
a
know
PDF put out by VEASAN, Vegas Sports and Information Network.
I don't know if it's available.
Vegas Information and Sports.
Or if he just sent us something that's like paywalled.
I don't know.
What is this, the bracket strategy, or is this the tournament betting? What's this one?
I believe it's the tournament betting.
There it is. Oh, it's the tournament.
I believe tournament betting.
All right, here, I'll
the tournament betting. The tournament betting. Josh will find it.
I just found
Is it
the
behind
link.
a paywall though?
You have to sign up for a free account.
All right, so you got to sign up for a free account to VEASAN. I didn't need a free account.
Yeah, thank you to the person who forwarded it to us.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
Jed says, so after hearing all that, Creighton could either win or lose that game against NC State. Good to know, and hoping for one of those outcomes more than the other.
I know, Jed, you're on my side, and you're rooting for the Jays, and I really appreciate it.
Jed, is that true?
Because Jed is a noted conference rooter, and, he wants Georgetown to look better by Creighton winning.
Big East, Big East.
So thank you, Jed. I appreciate your support out there.
Yeah,
and I will reciprocate one day when Georgetown makes No, I'll reciprocate.
Before we go to break, Nick, we need
a dramatic.
No.
Yes.
No. We need a Dylan flash. Oh, indeed, Nick. What the hell? Wow. The Rayola coaster continues, folks. Thanks to a friend of the Grum, Sean, for sending
He
this my
only
way.
hit 10 of the 17 benchmarks.
He'll only go to the Sweet 16. Isaiah Garcia Castaneda tweets out, "You know what it is, bro. Eye emoji, skull crossbones emoji, AZ work at Rayola Dylan, hashtag GBR. He's working out with Dylan Rayola and the big boombox with the Nebraska logos on it. And then, oh no, Dylan hooked the horns. Going to Texas, never mind. He's working out with Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. He wouldn't do that if he wasn't going to Nebraska, right?
With the Naboom box?
With the Naboom box. There you go.
You like the Rayola coaster open?
It's good.
Thank you.
That's good.
I forgot about that.
I did that last week.
Good. Well, he had just the original, and then he spiced it up with his own little flair.
Yeah, good job, Nick, with the flair.
Thank you.
Good. It's always good to have extra pieces of flair.
That's an Office Space reference.
It is.
We talked about that last week when you were gone.
Deeply.
Jack and I called you an idiot.
Again, it's not a bad movie. It's just not as great as everyone made it out to be. There are many, many, many more funnier.
He was an
movies.
idiot and a hipster.
Whoa, a sports flight? No, we don't need a sports flight. Micah Parsons just tweeted at DeAndre Hopkins, "It's about that time. Eye emoji, eye emoji, eye emoji." John, thoughts?
You know how many of the benchmarks the Dallas Cowboys hit?
I hate you. Sometimes I just really hate you.
Well, they got 2.
I despise you.
1, they're members of the NFL, which makes them eligible for the Super Bowl.
Only 32.
And
Bama can't do that.
And they have football players. So they hit 2 of the 17 benchmarks.
Jerk. Absolute jerk.
All right, we're coming back with more in a minute. I'm glad you found that.
It's very good.
That's better
It's
than
good.
the
old
piano.
one,
Yeah, this is much better.
I think Neil
because it builds up to it.
Yeah, it's very good.
It builds up to it. On 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
No disrespect to Frankie Muniz. Do you think that I could become a good race car driver pretty quickly? I know he's been doing this for all of his life, but I like to consider myself a pretty good driver. I'm an excellent driver. What's so good about Frankie Muniz? Like, how did Frankie Muniz decide he was going to be a NASCAR driver? Is he just a good driver? And those things have manual transmissions, right?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be tough. I think that'd probably disqualify me.
The Connor Happer Show, weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Clear to partly cloudy and breezy tonight. Low temperatures in the mid-30s. Windy and warmer for Wednesday. Partly to mostly cloudy skies, but high temperatures reach the lower 60s. We're looking at a rain and snow chance Thursday. I am Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Zoom Drain Time-Saving Traffic Center. Crash still blocking the right shoulder if you're east on Dodge 192nd. We've also got a wreck blocking the left shoulder on westbound I-80 just past 72nd. If you're north on the JFK, got a crash blocking the left shoulder at Fairview, and then some stop-and-go traffic if you're headed south on Saddle Creek between Dodge and Leavenworth. I'm Mike Neville.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
What does Saul's loan on? Almost everything, like jewelry, gold chains, bracelets, earrings, wedding rings, and high-end watches, guns, electronics, $10 to $50,000, super fast and easy with no credit check. Saul's loans on almost everything.
Are you looking for tickets for the next big event? Be sure to check out my friends at ticketsforless.com. They're going to take care of you all of the best seats to the biggest local events, and they've also got great seats to events nationwide. Now, the one thing with ticketsforless.com that I love is they never charge per ticket fees. And you know what? With that, you can save hundreds of dollars over other resale websites. You can lock in a special discount right now when you use the special code THEZONE at checkout at ticketsforless.com. Simply enter the code THEZONE at checkout, and you're going to earn an exclusive listener discount. Memories for life start at ticketsforless.com.
You can find pizza anywhere. But when you want pizza pie piled high with more toppings, that's when you come to my place, Godfather's Pizza. For a limited time, get your hands on 2 of my large one-topping pizzas. Pick pepperoni, beef, black olives, you choose. All this food for only $29. Feed your whole mob without breaking the bank. Hey, it's an offer you can't refuse. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
If you think you're having transmission problems, you need a specialist, someone who can and will tell you exactly what's wrong. At Omaha Transmission, that's what we do. Some places just want to sell you a new transmission, but at Omaha Transmission, we make repairs that other shops can't or won't. Giving you options is what's kept us in business since 2005. We've even had people hear our ads, bring in their car, and experience the exact same scenario they heard. There is a place that will diagnose and fix your transmission. That place is Omaha Transmission.
Shifting to running smooth.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Duck Defense Midwest makes your home healthier and improves the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com for a special duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. That's cleanairradio.com.
John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
Those are girthy.
They're very girthy. Many are saying.
It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Look, I made you some
Unsportsmanlike. It's not that time yet.
Wow, who are you, Dan?
Yeah.
Oh no, I Dan.
Jeez. Wow, there it is. Nick Grimm just Dan.
I just danced.
Zell.
I can't believe it.
Zell is triggered by a previous segment.
Who is?
Zell.
Zell. Z-E-L-L?
No, just one L.
One L.
Got to be your L.
Oh.
But we're going to give
That's
Zell
an interesting
L.
name.
I just took an L.
If only computers could play the game, and then a clown emoji. He's calling us clowns. All we did was give some information there, Zell.
Well, yeah.
Zell, the bell.
And it's not computers. It's just, it's statistical similarities of the teams. That's
wants
all.
to be triggered by everything these days.
Yeah, that's all.
Like John.
It's
I
a
give
gambling
Cowboys
guy.
news, and
That's-
John becomes a big baby. Where? Stop giving me Cowboys news.
Well, yeah. Why are we talking about the most irrelevant team in the
Okay.
National Football
They're
League?
the most irrelevant team. What are you talking about? They're not the Houston Texans.
I mean, they're from the same state.
And yet we talk about the Cowboys all the time.
Because of you.
And because America wants to talk about it.
America does not want to talk
People
about
are obsessed with the
especially
Cowboys.
this week.
Leighton Vander Esch just re-signed with the Cowboys, by the way.
And
this is great. I love how all the news is happening on your last day of the week.
And broke his arm doing it.
No, you're thinking of Sean Lee.
If you're a Dallas Cowboy and you play, you get injured all the time.
That's not true.
Pretty much.
Is that true?
Pretty
Nick, is that true?
Pretty much.
All right. It's going to be a solid defense again, I think. I think they're going to be a solid defense. And by the way, if you did miss it in all seriousness, Pat McAfee put out a graphic, and Aaron Rodgers is on his show tomorrow at noon. But here's the thing. Isn't he on a show every week?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
It's every Wednesday,
or most
isn't it?
every week. And he might miss a week or two and he's locked up in echinacea.
Yeah, when ayahuasca.
I do think
Whatever.
he's gonna. I
Or
do think he's going
eating
to
his
announce
Munchables.
tomorrow.
Munchables.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he was just on and he was like, "Whoa, what do you guys want me to say? Oh, media keeps wanting answers from me." Yeah, so does your future team, you dork.
Not to offend Zell or anyone who hates statistics.
Oh, you got more?
Ken Palm said in the 64-team tournament era,
stats,
there have been 36 teams to enter the tournament as a top 2 seed that were not in the AP preseason poll that year. So since the 64-team era began in 1985, 36 teams have earned a top 2 seed, but were not in that season's preseason top 25.
Okay.
Would you like to guess of those 36 teams, how many combined Final Four appearances have those 36 teams made?
5.
Lower.
2.
Lower.
Is it none?
0.
Whoa.
And they average fewer than 2 wins per tournament. So a lot of them get knocked out before the second
So real
weekend.
quick, this is teams that were
These were teams that were unranked,
but
ended up with a top 2 seed in the tournament.
So some would look at that and say, wow, you guys really got them wrong in the preseason. But the stats, sorry, Zell, say that they actually do kind of stink, or at least they're not second weekend good. Or
Yeah,
definitely
none
not
of them have made a
championship good.
Final Four.
Wow.
And those 2 teams this year that qualify are Purdue and Marquette.
Ooh.
Neither Purdue nor Marquette. Purdue was preseason 6th in the Big Ten and didn't get into the AP top 25. And Marquette was preseason 9th in the Big East and didn't.
And those are two teams that I've actually heard a lot of people picking against.
So
A lot of people picking against.
Purdue and Marquette.
Wow. Interesting.
Well, can't wait for Shaka to bend this into
Oh,
some
man,
kind
if
of
he's going to
motivation.
jump up and down a bunch.
You know he'll jump up and down and slap the floor and do all of that other fun stuff.
Happer's meme guy going after you for the previous segment. Text into 402-951-1620. There will be plenty of scumbag drunks rooting for Creighton to win anyway. Lay off old Brent. Hey, yeah, you had some harsh things to say about Brent. He wears sweater vests. You should be a huge Brent Musburger fan. All Creighton
I
fans.
don't wear sweater
You are
vests.
looking live.
I don't wear sweater vests.
You could.
I don't see many sweater vests, actually. No, I don't.
You
no.
sure?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Trust me, I'm at every game.
Every game.
Usually a lot of
every game.
Usually a lot of pullovers, hoodies, and polos.
Polos.
Sweatshirts tied around their neck.
Yep. With boat shoes on.
Some may think that.
Some Dockers.
Some may think that. I think they should actually lean into the bid and give away,
a sweater vest.
Sweater vest.
That'd be awesome.
That
It'd be a
would
very
funny.
expensive bit, but
A
it'd
Creighton sweater vest.
be really funny.
Oh, I think it can be done.
Be super funny.
Hey, dude, the white and blue diamond pattern.
Argyle?
Sure.
Well, that's a very North Carolina thing. That's their pattern.
I'd love.
I don't know if you
You're
want
a
to do an
North
Argyle
Carolina thing.
Well, yeah, Argyle. That's their thing. That's got their pattern on there. They're very famous. I think that's Argyle, isn't it Argyle?
Maybe they could do houndstooth.
That's
Well,
Alabama.
an Alabama thing.
Well, I don't know patterns and schools.
Actually, I found this out this year. Had no idea. But if you look at the Creighton uniforms, they have it looks like a string of like V's going down the side. You look at the uniform. I did not realize that was That was something taken from the St. John's Church, which is the church on campus.
Oh.
I did not realize that was a design cue taken from the church.
Well, then that's your sweater vest design.
There you go.
Hmm.
We'll give those away as sweater vests.
Perfect.
With some Chardonnay. Or maybe a nice Pinot Grigio.
Oh,
How?
wine night.
Or a Merlot.
Maybe some cheese. Maybe they should do that.
Wine and cheese night.
Wine and cheese night at the Creighton game.
There's a lot of whining from the broadcast booth.
Shut up! Yeah, and that's only because my partner keeps saying, hey, did you know what irrelevant player the Cowboys got tonight?
Irrelevant. Stephon Gilmore is a good player.
Slappy White. Slappy White.
Oh, I love Slappy. He was good
Slappy
in
White's our
college.
new running back.
Man, they've added some good players. Sam says Nebraska fans think we're preppy, stuck-up folks. UConn think we're cornfield hicks. It's a weird spot to be in.
It is a weird spot to be in.
Yep.
There's a lot of similarity
Oh,
I've
it's
noticed
box
between Husker fan and UConn fan.
Okay.
No. I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm just saying there's just a certain mindset, attitude, appearance about them. They're very common folk in Connecticut. We always think that Connecticut, they're close to New York, bunch of New York. No, they're like a working class people. They're like Nebraskans.
Okay.
So there's a lot of similarities between
Who's there?
Connecticut
Warren
and
Buffett.
Nebraska. Whoever runs the Hartford Insurance Company, I suppose. I don't know.
Cool.
Hartford is the insurance capital of the world, they say.
People forget.
Exactly.
Good for them.
A lot of insurance up
A lot
there.
of insurance.
On many sides.
All right, coming up, we've got some unsportsmanlike content.
Including?
Dallas Cowboy Day continues.
Yes. I didn't even put one in. Or Nick didn't even
with usual cowboy-like behavior.
Oh, no, not that story.
And just in time for wing eating season, someone has decided to take Buffalo Wild Wings to court.
Oh, I don't know this story. I'm intrigued.
On 1620 The Zone.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
No matter how dark it gets, there's always a sunrise, a warm bed, a warm meal, and hope. Sienna Francis House serves hope to those experiencing homelessness and addiction. Every day, we provide more than 1,000 meals and serve nearly 500 guests in our emergency shelter, Miracles Recovery Program, and supportive housing apartments, and help our guests navigate a path to permanent housing. Learn more at siennafrancis.org.
When you keep a car for a long time, it becomes a classic. When you keep your air conditioner for a long time, it becomes, well, let's just say it doesn't get better with age. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and have your old air conditioner checked out. If it's needed, you can have a brand new Carrier air conditioner installed in no time with fast and easy financing. When the other companies send salesmen, Standard sends qualified technicians. It's just part of
the way we do the things we do.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
From basketball to volleyball, baseball to softball, soccer, tennis, and so much more, the Creighton sports season is packed with action. The 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law, covers it all. Each week, we visit with Blue Jay athletes and coaches to hear their stories and document their climb through the Big East Conference. The 1620 The Jays podcast drops each Friday morning and is found at 1620thezone.com and all major podcast platforms. Just search 1620 The Jays. Covering all things Creighton Blue Jays, it's the 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law from 1620 The Zone.
Summer is almost here, and with 31 days in March, you can save $31 every month at Genesis Health Clubs. Ends Wednesday at midnight. If you don't get started on your fitness goals today, then when? Next week? Next year? Life's too short for that. Hi, I'm Rodney Stephen with Genesis Health Clubs, here all month giving you 31 reasons to get started toward your summer fitness goals now. Reason number 11, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Reason number 12, what seems impossible today will one day become your warm-up. Reason number 13, the extra mile is never crowded. Reason number 14, we don't judge you if you just show up and sometimes sit in the sauna or the hot tub. It's good for you. Reason number 15, you can't show up for your family without taking care of your health first. 31 days in March, 31 reasons to get started today, and $31 to save every month when you get started at Genesis Health Clubs. Ends Wednesday at midnight. There is no tomorrow for your health. Go to genesishealthclubs.com today to get started.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. I hate the struggle of tough, greasy messes on my stovetop. So I just freak, wipe, and I'm done.
When I'm frustrated with stubborn bathtub soap scum, I just freak, wipe, and I'm done.
Mr. Clean Clean Freak delivers an innovative cleaning experience with a powerful deep cleaning mist that starts working on contact to break down tough messes in seconds.
Just freak,
wipe,
done.
Fiber cement siding is beautiful and extremely durable. You want James Hardie siding. Carps Exteriors was Nebraska's first James Hardie Elite Preferred Siding contractor. Invest in the best. James Hardie Siding and Carps Complete Home Exteriors.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Look, I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
content.
Unsportsmanlike content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike.
As the tournament is just seconds away from tip-off, Texas A&M Corpus Christi against Southeast Missouri State, it is time for some content.
Matt Norlander has ranked all 68 NCAA tournament teams and has Houston, Bama, Purdue, Kansas, and Texas as his top 5 teams. Creighton came in at 23, sandwiched between TCU and Kentucky. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, then Norlander proceeded to pick the Jays to go to the Final Four.
Yes.
Over one of the teams he had in the top 5. But hey, upsets happen, right? That seems about right. That also happens to be where Creighton was on the seed line. Hell, maybe Norlander just copied and pasted the seed line over to his ranking.
Yeah, I guess that is pretty close. Yeah, I mean, like even if you have a team going to the Final Four, probably can't put Creighton in your top 4.
Well, no.
So yeah, I guess that sounds about right. Sure. Purdue, though, I mean, I guess we had the numbers. Purdue shouldn't be ranked that high, given some of the stuff we just talked about. It's odd because, again, we're talking about a regular season thing with where to put them, but also we're projecting and we're going to kind of throw out some of the regular season stuff. Weird.
Trevor Bauer is back in baseball,
folks,
but he's going to play in Japan. After nobody would take a chance on the trouble pitcher in the majors, Bauer signed a 1-year deal with Yokohama. Would you wager on if Bauer will ever pitch in the big leagues again?
How old is he?
32.
If he's really, really, really good.
Which he was when he got suspended.
Yeah, so if he
was having a great season.
So if he comes back, because he hasn't played since 2021?
Yes.
Okay. So if he comes back and he's really good, I would wager that he does. But if he's bad over there, I think it will give them an excuse not to bring him back. But look, man, I don't know. We just see this a lot. Time plus, the incident. That eventually, I think teams will be like, he's moved on. He's apologized.
I agree.
They'll do all those things.
I agree. This will be a 1-year deal, and then somebody will take a chance on him. If it shows, who knows? I mean, 2 years off, almost 2 years off. It's a long time, especially, once you get above 30. That can mess with you a little bit.
How much will he change? Yeah.
But yeah, I would have, if I were a wagering man on this, I would say yes. Trevor Bauer is still going to get one more chance in the major leagues.
Michael Irvin continues to fight accusations that he sexually harassed a hotel employee at the Super Bowl, leading to Irvin being pulled off NFL Network programming for the week. His attorney showed surveillance video where he claims the interaction was cordial and non-harassing. What do you think happens to Irvin and his broadcasting future?
Well, what he did was he dropped the case because he filed it in, I believe, in Texas. Yeah, he filed the case in Texas. They dropped the case in Texas, though, with prejudice, which means he could refile in another state, and he did. He refiled in Arizona. And now they say, they had this video, and it says, well, the interaction doesn't look like, now there's no audio, it's just a surveillance video, but the video doesn't seem to show that whatever he said was received negatively by the woman, like she was taken back. And I won't say what he is alleged to have said, but it's pretty suggestive. And so if what she claims he said is true, they're claiming, the Irvin attorneys, that she would have reacted in a visual sense that would have given her pause to think, oh my God, what did you just say to me? And so that's their evidence. Will he be broadcasting again?
Because he was, real quick, let's go back to the Super Bowl. He was taken off the air.
He was taken off the air Super Bowl week.
Uh-huh.
ESPN took him off of the regular appearance he made on
First Take.
Yeah.
So
I think it's going to be a he said, she said, and I don't know if they're going to. Honestly, he's not doing this to get money. He's doing this to save face.
Yeah.
And to save his career and win a PR
I was
battle.
going to say, to get back on TV.
Correct. I have a feeling it might work.
Yeah, I don't know. This has been such a strange story in terms of like how it's been doled out, and what we have and then haven't known. I think that I'm with you. And I forget, because I just clicked into the TMZ link. Do we have video, or that hasn't been released to us?
Well, they had a press conference today where they showed the video.
Okay.
They showed the video at the press conference.
Yeah.
And they claim the video is completely innocuous.
He has had a lot of controversies, if you will, in his playing career, and then post-playing career. And, he's been able to get through a lot of it. And, I mean, he's still been on TV. He was on TV the week of the Super Bowl. There's a picture of him in the TMZ story from Super Bowl opening night, the first media night, and then, obviously off after that. I'll say yes, but I don't really feel confident. I just, don't know what's going to happen over the next however many days and weeks.
Josh,
Nick,
you famously went back in time and resubscribed to cable for some reason, telling the internet streaming to go get bent. Now, on the eve of March Madness, YouTube TV announced that they are putting the fast track on a new feature that will allow you to stream multiple feeds at the same time. You look like an idiot now.
I didn't even have YouTube TV previously. I had Fubo, and Fubo allowed you to stream 4 things at the same time. Now, the issue with Fubo is they didn't have Turner, so that's why we got rid of it.
But YouTube TV
does. Apparently, this isn't for all users. It's for like specific users, and you'll be surprised on if you are one of the users. Because I saw some conversation with Jack Mitchell and Jake Bogus on Twitter earlier, and it's like you don't even know today if you have it yet.
During early access, some members will begin to see an option to watch 4 pre-selected different streams in their top picks for you section.
Yeah, I mean, I won't even be here this weekend, so it doesn't bother me.
It sounds like it's going to be something that's going to be rolled out
eventually
for everybody.
Because they got to have it for Sunday Ticket this fall.
Yes.
Honestly,
this is basically like a dry run.
Yeah.
During March Madness, another event where you're going to have multiple games going on.
I do feel like an idiot sometimes, though, because, man, I'm going to have to bring out a second TV set like it's 2015 to watch games this fall. Don't really like that. I'm going to miss the quad box on Saturdays. Really going to miss it.
After muscling through Chris Paul for an and one last night, Steph Curry was saying, "This ain't 2014 no more." What do you miss most about the world in 2014? I was 17.
Wow. Young Nick.
So why is he making reference to 2014? I'm just curious.
Because Chris Paul's really old.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. He's saying, you remember when you were younger and not as old?
What do I miss about 2014? Doug McDermott.
Well, that's a good one.
That was his senior year, 2014. Not a whole lot else. I mean, the Cubs were in rebuilding mode. The Rams still sucked.
Yeah, Dallas still had a quarterback who loved turning the ball over at the worst time possible. I mean, I don't know. Rent, because I lived with 3 other people, was like $300 a month. That was pretty cool. I miss that. $300 a month rent.
I was living
But you had to live with 3 other guys.
That was the part that stunk.
Literally.
Yeah. Wings were cheaper back then, too. Thanks, Obama.
Remember cheap wings?
Thanks for the cheaper wings, President O.
Thanks for the cheap wings.
More on that in a second.
Oh.
Ja Morant has entered a counseling program in Florida and is still without a timetable to return to the NBA. Do you think we'll see him back on the floor this season?
So you remember when they first announced this, it was 2 games. and obviously we are now well past 2 games, there's a part of me that thinks that we might not see him because how much time is enough time to, move forward and kind of past all this counseling? I mean, talking about some heavy stuff right now. And there's more reporting coming out of various things that he has been involved in like recent years. Man, they're good. He's been gone 10 days now. I think I'd still bet on him coming back, but I have read and heard people that cover the league that are like, I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see him until next season.
Yeah. Problem is it's not just the optics of it, but it's just the serious nature of where he is mentally in terms of his coping skills. Because that truly is concerning to a lot of people close to the Grizzlies and close to Ja and close to the NBA. Is more about his overall mental health beyond just the optics of the situation. So with that, I don't know. I think it's going to be hard for him to be back this year.
Yeah.
I've been wrong before, but I would be surprised if he was back this year.
Many people on many sides are triggered when boneless buffalo wings are called boneless buffalo wings when they're actually just chicken nugs coated in wing sauce.
Yes.
A man in Chicago is so triggered that he's suing Buffalo Wild Wings to force them to change the name. Is this going too far?
No, good take. Good take. They're not boneless wings. They're chicken nuggets with sauce. A fine take from this individual.
I hope the judge in this
Change
case...
the name.
Listen, technically he's right.
Exactly.
But...
Are you saying the woke mob has gone too far, John?
No, I'm saying there's a lot more important things that our court system needs to be dealing with than this stupid, frivolous lawsuit. I hope the judge says, you got 5 minutes to get out of my courtroom or I am arresting you and throwing you in jail.
Holy God. Ow.
Really? We need a lawsuit for this?
Yeah, why not? Dude, what if
we need why not?
What if he wins money?
He's not going to win money.
He could.
No, he is not going to win money. He's just suing.
If this causes people to change the name of these, this guy is an American hero.
No, he is not.
Yes, he is.
Because then we'll get more of these stupid lawsuits.
Like what? What are you going to be triggered by? What are you going to sue about?
I'm triggered because this obvious frozen drink at 7-Eleven called a Slurpee. I don't slurp. I mean, we get these frivolous lawsuits all the time. We don't need to encourage people to have more.
But what if
frivolous
this guy
lawsuits?
thought he was getting boneless wings and he was like, sweet, they'll be deboned wings. And then he was like, this is just a chicken breast.
Anyone who thinks that is an idiot.
Maybe the guy's been living under a rock.
So we should not be rewarding people who voluntarily live under rocks.
Also,
Don't live under rocks.
We should reward liars.
How are you going to get a...
How are we rewarding liars?
Because they lied to us. They're not boneless
There's
wings.
a certain sports bar that operates in the Lincoln and Omaha area that calls their chicken strips chicken lips.
I love that place.
I do too, but they're not chicken lips.
Crap.
And I don't want that. I don't want those folks getting sued.
You just rested your case like the judge.
You damn right I did. So arrest this man.
Arrest him?
Arrest him.
All right.
All right.
By the way, Chance says the preppy hit Creighton folks call their corn maize. Is that what you guys call your corn? Hey, honey, you want some maize and chicken and that?
Isn't maize? Isn't that a?
It's a specific type of corn.
It's a specific kind.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. I always thought it was derived from Native American language.
I mean, yes, but
love the competence, Nick.
Not 100% sure.
That's what I always thought.
Maize, also known as corn. All right, so it's the same thing.
Right, but I thought the actual term maize was derived from Native American language.
For bet of the day, Sam says, I'm suing the Cornhuskers because they don't even husk corn.
Exactly! They don't!
It's a nickname, John. It's a nickname.
Just like boneless wings
there's
is a nickname.
It's a restaurant.
Boneless wings is a nickname.
John, if you went to a place and you're like, I would like a burger, and they gave you some plant-based thing, you'd be so triggered you'd sue that place. Would you not? Because they'd be lying to you.
Well, they're not
what
lying
Buffalo
to
Wild
me.
Wings has been doing to us for years. Liars.
It's freaking chicken without a bone.
Man, I love chicken.
I do too. I also love bet of the day.
Nice.
Someone who doesn't love bet of the day.
We don't have to talk about
His
it.
name rhymes with Dick Lim.
What?
Well, it does.
Bingo.
1620 the Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Are you the kind of person who feels sorry for anyone who works in an office? If you prefer to be outdoors in the sun, or the rain, or the hot, or the cold, then Quality Irrigation would like just 30 seconds of your time. If you have experience with irrigation systems and would love to work with a team that'll make your career more rewarding, Quality Irrigation is the kind of company that'll reward your hard work, smart ideas, and initiative. Visit quality-irrigation.com and click the Careers tab to apply today. Equal Opportunity Employer.
Summer is almost here, and with 31 days in March, you can save $31 every month at Genesis Health Clubs. Ends Wednesday at midnight. If you don't get started on your fitness goals today, then when? Next week? Next year? Life's too short for that. Hi, I'm Rodney Stephen with Genesis Health Clubs, here all month giving you 31 reasons to get started toward your summer fitness goals now. Reason number 11, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Reason number 12, what seems impossible today will one day become your warm-up. Reason number 13, the extra mile is never crowded. Reason number 14, we don't judge you if you just show up and sometimes sit in the sauna or the hot tub. It's good for you. Reason number 15, you can't show up for your family without taking care of your health first. 31 days in March, 31 reasons to get started today, and $31 to save every month when you get started at Genesis Health Clubs. Ends Wednesday at midnight. There is no tomorrow for your health. Go to genesishealthclubs.com today to get started.
This March, why not take a shot at college hoops with a no-sweat bet on FanDuel Sportsbook? Now, it doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account. Right now, all customers can tip off the tourney with a no-sweat bet. Just sign in your FanDuel Sportsbook account and claim yours today. Or, you know what? If you're new to FanDuel, all you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/zone to get in on all the action.
You know, if you can bet on everything from the money line to the point spreads to the 5 versus 12 matchup that you've been eyeing, maybe look at teams like Oral Roberts, maybe Drake, all on a safe app that's secure and super easy to use. There's no better place to bet the tournament than FanDuel Sportsbook. Just go to FanDuel.com/zone to join now or sign into your FanDuel Sportsbook account to claim your no sweat bet today. Make every moment more with FanDuel. 21 plus and present in Iowa. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus bet $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Ready to revolutionize your home's look? Smash those outdated windows and upgrade with J-Tech Construction, the official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers. For a limited time, qualified buyers enjoy no payments and 0 interest for a year. Plus, receive a free triple paint upgrade. Trust the best in the business and see why so many homeowners choose us. Contact us now and take the first step toward a stunning home transformation. The official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction, your exterior experts.com.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is Cops. Receive 2 $25 gift vouchers for just $25. Cops makes delicious pizza, fresh salads, and tasty charred wings. For the basic menu, click copspizza.com. And for the extended menu, visit them at Shadow Lake Town Center, 180th and Center, and the newly reopened 72nd and Jones locations.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Tired of having a website that doesn't reflect the quality of your brand? At JM Online, we specialize in custom websites for unique business needs. Your website should be more than just a digital billboard. It should be a powerful tool that grows your business. Awarded Omaha's best web developers in 2023, we're dedicated to local business success. So if you're ready to take your website to the next level, go to jmonline.com and request a call.
It's unsportsmanlike conduct.
You know, there was some shenanigans going on.
The 1620. The Zone.
And you know why I'm laughing, don't you? Now, it's time for the unsportsmanlike conduct bet of the day.
Just a little bit under where some folks would like to see this one wind up.
Brought to you by Peerless Energy Systems.
All right, it was a rough one last night for 2 of the 3 of us. John had a parlay that lost because the team lost 8-4 in hockey. The Grizzlies won, by the way. They covered against the Mavs. Nick had the Celtics on the money line minus 950.
We told you not to do
We
this.
told you not to do this.
I'm confused about how they lost.
Well, they're not
because they didn't score enough points.
Bingo.
And gave up too many.
Nick now is 21-22 on the young year, down $821. He was up over 1,000 at one
sure
point.
was.
Give me Mississippi State tonight in the tournament, minus the 2.5 points, minus 110 is the juice.
Well, because I will not be here tomorrow, I'm going to take 3 games. I'm going to take a 3-team parlay. Give me Auburn minus 1.5, Boise plus 1.5, A&M minus 2.5, 6-1 odds.
Basketball's dumb. Give me the Penguins and the Rangers, minus 107.
It's a bet of the day brought to you by Peerless Energy Systems.
All right. Have fun the rest of the week. It's only one more day.
Oh, the week's almost over. Sam says, now I want wings. Sam, me too.
Boneless ones, too.
No, bye!